It's a process that can seem like forever. The revitalizing of a program after a season left unfulfilled. A long practice of grinding patience and precision in anticipation of the first chance to prove this year will be different. Today, the wait is finally over. For the Bruins, the facelift of the program is finished in Westwood, and there's pressure to live up to the promise.
Touchdown! What a play by Josh Rosen!
For the Aggies, tension builds in College Station, and the expectation to win is now.
How do you like that? Christian Kirk, the touchdown!
A crucial first contest for two teams looking to return to national prominence. Texas A&M, UCLA. Their season begins now.
From the legendary Rose Bowl, considered the #1 venue in college sports. Welcome to Pasadena, California, where we've got a good one for you today. It's the SEC versus the Pac-12 as Texas A&M comes into town to take on the UCLA Bruins. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, along with my partner, Joel Klatt, and welcome to Pasadena on a special Sunday edition of college football on Fox. Now, this is a rematch of a game that was played last year with Texas A&M, Joel, winning in overtime in College Station. And coming into this game, the big question for head coach Kevin Sumlin, who's going to be his quarterback?
Well, we have the answer, but it might not just be one answer. Nick Starkel, the redshirt freshman, is going to start for Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M, but we are likely to see all three quarterbacks today. Kellen Mond, the true freshman from IMG, and Jake Hubenak, whose spot started last year when Trevor Knight was injured. But it's not who's going to start for me. It's how will they get the ball to this guy, Christian Kirk, one of the premier players in our sport. Christian Kirk is explosive on the outside. They'll hand it to him out of the backfield. Preseason All-American, and UCLA will have to account for where number 3 is on the field at all times.
All right, UCLA finished the season 4-8 last year, 2-7 in the Pac-12, but they played their final 6 games without their star quarterback, Josh Rosen. Partner, he's back,
Yep.
He's healthy, Bruins are ready to roll.
Yeah, and this man, Jim Mora, said to us yesterday, I don't feel a lot of pressure here in Westwood, in large part due to the fact that he's got Josh Rosen back at the quarterback position. This guy is a premier quarterback. He's going to be drafted in the first 3 picks in the NFL draft come April, but unfinished business here at UCLA. He needs a win to open up the season, to right the wrongs of losing a year ago in this game, and to get the season started on the right foot.
Josh Rosen, off-season shoulder surgery. He's healthy. Some consider him maybe the top quarterback pick if he elects to come out of school this year in the NFL. And here come the Bruins. So coming up from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, 2 traditional powers square off in their season opener on a special Sunday edition of college football on Fox. A&M, UCLA, opening kick coming up next.
Welcome. How's it going?
And welcome back to the Rose Bowl. UCLA out of the Pac-12, ready to take on Texas A&M out of the SEC in a series that dates back to 1940. A&M leads it 3-2. The teams played in Los Angeles the last time in 1955. And don't forget, last year in College Station, UCLA rallied from 15 down in the 4th quarter to force overtime. But the Aggies won it 31-24. As we take a look at the weather, it's hot. And it's not just that desert heat. Feels a little humid as well.
Yeah, this is unseasonably warm here in Pasadena. Now, there has been some cloud cover here late in the afternoon, and it's cooled things off. Yesterday and at points today, it has reached the triple digits. So something to pay attention to here, the fitness of these players.
And you talked to Coach Moore yesterday. UCLA flipped sidelines.
That's right. This year, it's a new sideline for UCLA. They will be on the near side as you're watching it at home, which takes them out of the sun. The sun, as this ball game goes on, will be directly in the face of the Texas A&M squad.
All right, A&M won the toss, deferred UCLA to receive the football. Texas A&M 8-5 last year, 4-4 in the SEC. The Aggies started 6-0 but finished 2-5. UCLA 4-8, 2-7 in the Pac-12. Bruins started 3-2 but lost 6 of their last 7. Both these coaches, according to reports, are under major pressure to win, and they each want to get off to a good start today. Man will kick it off for the Aggies. Darnay Holmes, the deep man. A&M, UCLA underway, and this ball kicked out of bounds. So the Bruins will get good field position.
Kickoff out of bounds. 34, kicking team. Receiving team will elect to take the ball to 35-yard line, first down.
SEC officiating crew today. All right, Joel, what's the story?
It's about the run game for this A&M team, because this is a guy, and Nick Starkel, that's coming out here, and excuse me, we're talking UCLA here. Bola Ola run for me, the UCLA run game. 127 out of 128 in the FBS a year ago running the football. They were so bad. On the defensive side, Armani Watts, he's the new face of the defense. We've had great faces of the A&M defense. Most notably, one just left, Myles Garrett. Can Armani Watts step up this year?
First down and 10 from the 35-yard line for the Bruins. And they give it to Ola Run for me, and he goes nowhere. Great defensive attack. Alaka with the first tackle of the game. So Josh Rosen, what do you like about his game? Everybody thinks that this kid is special.
He's the best pure quarterback that we've got in college football right now. You know, he doesn't necessarily play outside of the structure great, but when he's clean in the pocket, there's no one better.
Aggies sacked him 5 times a year ago, and it's Ola Run for me again, and not very much room over the right side. The Aggie defense stout against the run to start this game.
That's something that's got to get established for UCLA. And Jim Mora, the concern was getting into these situations, obvious passing situations. This is when they were unable to protect Josh Rosen a year ago when facing A&M.
Third down and 9 at the 36. Ola Run for me. Remains in the backfield. Rosen out of the shotgun. Here's Rosen to throw it for the first time. With time over the middle, and it's caught at the 45. Josh Rosen throwing a strike. Jordan Lastly, the redshirt junior from Compton, California, with the catch. First down, gain of 19.
UCLA will execute some fast tempo here.
Rosen to throw it again. This time, the seam, and incomplete. That one thrown a tad bit high for Caleb Wilson.
And for the first time today, Rosen has to pick himself up off the turf.
Last year, as I mentioned, they sacked him 5 times. They knocked him down 7 times. He went 26 of 46 for 343, a touchdown, and 3 picks.
And earned the respect of Kevin Sumlin, who after the game said, boy, the more we hit him, the better he got, in particular in that fourth quarter.
Second down and 10 at the 46. Opening series for UCLA. Well, a run for me. With space this time, and he'll try to claw his way inside the 40-yard line. Tyrell Dotson making the tackle. Kevin Sumlin, 53 years old, in his 6th year at Texas A&M. He's 1-9 against Alabama and LSU, beating the #1 Crimson Tide with Johnny Manziel at the helm in 2012. Is that an issue for the Aggie faithful?
Well, the issue has been their late season finishes. They've been 5-0 each of the last 3 seasons, and they have not been able to finish it off.
Third down and 3 at the 39. Short drop for Rosen. Far side, puts it on the money. It's caught. Darren Andrews picks up the first down. That ball comes out of his hands, Joel, so quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, that pureness of him in the pocket. You see the execution of the ball placement. This is an accurate throw. See how it's all the way outside in front of the wide receiver. Darren Andrews allows him to run through it, get the chains, and get a first down.
First down, Rosen. Underneath and incomplete. He had a receiver, Christian Papico, and that one thrown a tad bit behind him, and Papico unable to bring it in.
I think some nerves getting the better of Christian Pabico, the junior from Long Beach. He's a walk-on, has worked immensely hard to get to this point on the field for UCLA, but unable to haul in that first opportunity there.
Second down and 10 of the 34. Will the run for me, the single setback. Rosen under center. Rosen looking. And caught close to a first down once again. This time he finds Caleb Wilson, the redshirt sophomore from Dallas, Texas.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 6. Forcible contact in the knee area. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Donovan Wilson, safety blitz. You see he stumbles, but Rosen in that passing setup, you can't go low at that point. He's delivering the ball, he's set up, and then the dive from Wilson. That's an excellent call by the official. Not always the obvious roughing the passer style of call, which is usually up high towards the head or neck area, but excellent call, and Wilson costing his team now first down inside the 15-yard line for UCLA.
Wilson has drawn comparisons to former LSU playmaker Tyrann Matteau, the Honey Badger. First and 10 at the 12-yard line for the Bruins. Play action. Rosen all day in the end zone, incomplete. No flag on the play. Pabico, the intended receiver, once again.
Rosen has had time to throw, but this is what I love right now. UCLA jumping in and out of tempo here, going fast on this snap.
10th play of the drive. And a quick strike. But A&M well prepared. Darren Andrews had no room after he caught the football. And he was gobbled up by Dotson and Capers Smith.
Well, this is when the onus falls directly on the shoulders, or more specifically the right shoulder of your quarterback, Josh Rosen. Obvious passing situation, very difficult here as the back of the end zone starts squeezing the defense tighter to the wide receivers. There's just less space to operate with.
Third down and 10 at the 12-yard line. Bruins need to go to about the 2.5 for first. Rosen in trouble, throws, and incomplete. He's got some backside pressure by Jarrett Johnson, the senior from Katy, Texas. And the Bruins will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
And that was one of the questions for Texas A&M was, were they going to be able to generate pass rush without Myles Garrett on the field? Jarrett Johnson, the senior, he's 6'3", 265 pounds, and what a great spin move to the inside. Gets him free, and he disrupts the timing there to force a field goal.
So J.J. Molson, who was 12 of 20 last year with a career long of 49, in to attempt a 29-yarder. And the Bruins are on the board. UCLA drives it down the field, settles for 3, leading Texas A&M.
Day 13.
Score first to take a 3-0 lead over Texas A&M here in Pasadena. They go 13 plays covering 53 yards, and they ate up 3 minutes and 51 seconds. And it's time now for Craveable Moments, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Let's take a look back at last year's memorable matchup between these teams. The Aggies led most of the way, but UCLA came back to force overtime in OT. The Aggies were able to grab the victory when Trevor Knight ran in the game winner. J.J. Molson will send it away for the Bruins. Keith Ford, Christian Kirk back deep, and this kid Kirk is special. And he won't get an opportunity to return it. So what's the story, Joel Klatt, when Texas A&M has the ball?
Well, when you're trying to break in a new quarterback and there's some indecision at that position, the best friend of that quarterback is going to be a great run game. Travion Williams and Keith Ford, a really great duo for Nick Starkel, who's going to run out there for his first start as a quarterback. And then for UCLA, Jaleel Wadou. He's the smallest player on the field, but this guy is a spark plug of the defense. Excellent in coverage, and he's going to draw the matchup most of the day following around Christian Kirk.
He's on the Thorpe Award watch list, Wadou. Honorable mention all Pac-12 last year. First and 10 for Texas A&M at their own 25-yard line, and they run it. Travion Williams over the left side. And he's stopped by Matt Dickerson, but it's a gain of 4. Starkel, tell me about him.
Well, Starkel's got a good, strong arm. He's big, 6'3", 215 pounds, has some athleticism about him, but what they love about him, he can get the ball down the field with good accuracy.
2nd down and 6 at the 29. And they'll run it straight ahead as Williams trying to pick his way up the field. Boss Tagaloa, first man to him.
And this is when you find out a lot about your quarterback. There is no way to replicate a live game situation, in particular on a 3rd down. First start on the road, Nick Starkel. His opportunity is right now.
3rd and 5 at the 30. Starkel, low snap. He handles it, drops it off, underneath, caught Christian Kirk, and he'll pick up the first down. The junior from Scottsdale, Arizona, dragged down from behind by Adarius Pickett.
I love what they're doing here. Kirk is in motion. He's coming and he's going to let everything clear out, and then bang, he hits it, and he's heading to the inside. That's an easy throw for the quarterback. They get it to their best player for the conversion.
Gain of 13. First down and 10 at the 43. And it's Williams. Travion Williams, first true freshman for A&M to rush for more than 1,000 yards in the season. He ran for 1,067.
I think the 3 most important players on the field for Texas A&M are going to be Ford, Williams, and Kirk. Can they help out their young quarterback, Nick Starkel?
2nd down and 8 at the 45. Starkel underneath, and he's got Kirk once again. Christian Kirk, a preseason All-American as a receiver and a punt returner.
Gotta love the play calls from offensive coordinator Noel Mazzoni. In breaking routes early, easy throws for Starkel. He's able to complete them, and guess who's catching the ball? Number 3, Christian Kirk.
That time he gained 12. 1st and 10 at the UCLA 43 and a flag.
Legal substitution. 12-man in formation. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
All right, let's go to Jenny Taft, who's got the eBay best seat in the house.
Gus, I asked Coach Sumlin before the game why so quiet about the decision to go with Nick Starkel. He told me that was all by design. We've been happy with what we've seen from him. I also asked Coach Sumlin, will we see multiple quarterbacks tonight? He had hinted at that, and he said, you know what? I don't know yet. Maybe Kellen Mond at some point. We're going to see how this one gets started.
All right, thank you very much. And Williams trying to hurdle the defender, can't get over the top of Adarius Pickett.
He was trying to make all the highlight reels. Oh, he was so close, but Pickett does a great job. Make sure he gets that left foot, grabs hold, brings him down. Adarius Pickett is a good player, well-seasoned player from that safety position. You'll see him up near the line of scrimmage a lot today.
Had 42 tackles and 3 interceptions last year. 2nd and 14 at the 47. Starkel stepping up, delivers underneath, and he has Rashawn Paul. And Paul drags his man out of bounds. Looks like he's got a first down.
Boy, I just love what Noel Mazzoni is doing here. Even in a 2nd and long situation, what does he do with his quarterback? He gives him easy completions right in front of his eyes, in between the numbers and in between the hash marks. He dumps it off, and it's a nice catch and run to move the chains.
And Coach Mazzoni is a very familiar coach around these UCLA
you better believe it.
quarters. 1st and 10 at the 33. And Williams again.
Coach Mazzoni got to College Station via Westwood. As the coordinator of UCLA, he's worked really all over the country, but he had tremendous success here at UCLA between 2012, 2015. A guy named Brett Hundley is his quarterback, but still very good friends with Jim Mora. Just not this week.
No texting for those two this week. 10th play of the drive. It started at the Texas A&M 25. 2nd and 8. They run left, and the breakback Keith Thor picks up the first down and more. The senior from Cypress, Texas, gains 11.
What I love here about this run is that he finds the hole. He wants to go left, and then there's the vision for that cutback, and he finds green grass and lowers his shoulder for a nice first down.
1st and 10 at the UCLA 20 for the Aggies on their opening series. Ford again, bounces it outside. Nice move, keeps his feet churning and goes out of bounds. And there to usher him out of bounds, Josh Woods, but a flag on the play.
I think they're going to get a late hit.
After the play was over, personal foul. Number 1 defense, late hit out of bounds. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
That's Darnay Holmes. He's a true freshman corner getting a start. And you see he just lunges right there at the end, clearly out of bounds, makes contact, shoves him again, and that's going to get called every time. Jim Mora was wondering how his young players would react to this stage, and early Darnay Holmes showing a little bit of nerves.
Now first down and goal at the 5-yard line for A&M. Can they punch it in for 6 is the question. Ford in the backfield. They give it to him straight ahead. Ford, touchdown Aggies. He's for the Oklahoma transfer.
Watch Southerland, the right tackle. He gets all the way up to the linebacker. That's the key block. And then you could drive a truck through the hole, and Ford finds himself into the end zone.
Daniel LaCamera in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. Aggies start on their own 25, march it all the way down the field. Keith Ford paying it off. Texas A&M on top of UCLA, 7-3 here in the first.
Spend a little extra time over here, huh, Matt?
75-yard drive, eating up 4 minutes and 28 seconds. To help those in need after Hurricane Harvey, you can join the Rebuild Texas effort. To donate, visit rebuildtx.org or text RebuildTX to 91999.
Ford is one of those players from down in that region in Texas. The senior transferred from Oklahoma a few years ago. And that run game for A&M was awful stout on that first series.
Braden Mann sends it away. Darnay Holmes is the deep man. And he'll get a shot starting from his own 2. Gets outside and goes down to the 25. So Josh Rosen and the UCLA offense down 7-3, back on the field right after this. Look at the Go RVing sights and sounds from beautiful Pasadena, California, and the amazing atmosphere here at the Rose Bowl.
If you haven't been, it's bucket list. The Rose Bowl is sensational. The entire experience. Coming in, you're driving through the neighborhoods, and all of a sudden, boom, there it is, the Rose Bowl, the iconic venue.
And there, the San Gabriel Mountains. I remember being a kid growing up in the Midwest and watching games from the Rose Bowl and thinking to myself, is that real? Are those mountains real?
Is that a set, just a backdrop?
Yes.
Oh, man. Beautiful here.
Tip of the San Gabriel Mountains, about a mile and a half away to the heart, 43 miles. 1st and 10 at the 25. Rosen to throw on first down. And that one high. So UCLA has a new offensive coordinator coming over from the University of Michigan. What do you think he's thinking right now?
Well, Jed Fish is a guy who's been in NFL circles and was under Jim Harbaugh a year ago. And what he's thinking right now is, how do I get my quarterback more comfortable? Because Rosen has hit the turf now 3-4 times during the course of this game. And they obviously got the penalty and got inside the 15-yard line. But they're having a hard time right now protecting up front, keeping Josh Rosen clean.
Rosen 4 of 9, 31 yards. Quick strike this time to the near side. It's Andrews, and he is dropped. Wonderful job by Miles Jones, a true freshman from Magnolia, Texas.
What great coverage here on the outside from Texas A&M. They're trying to get the ball out of Rosen's hands quickly, but right there, just steps up, and he's immediately there for the hit and brings him down. That A&M secondary playing very aggressive right now.
3rd down and 11 at the 24. Bruins need to go to the 35 for first down. Rosen dances out of the pocket and hit as he throws. Incomplete. Or is that one picked up? Jared Johnson with the sack. And Texas A&M has it inside the UCLA 5. Armani Watts scooped it up and almost got into the end zone.
This is going to be very close. As Rosen is rolling to his right, Jarrett Johnson's going to beat Colton Miller, the left tackle, and Rosen tries to set up and throw, and that ball, that is going to be awful close. Now, I thought Johnson has made contact before that hand was starting to come forward. I'll be shocked if they don't look at this, but see how his hand is around his wrist? The control that Rosen has of the football will be what they are going to watch in this replay. When does control get lost for Rosen? And if that is before that hand starts moving forward, then you're going to have 1st and goal Aggies. You have a lot of credit to Jarrett Johnson. They've been wondering how they're going to replace Myles Garrett. Put pressure on the quarterback, and now twice Jarrett Johnson has come up with pressure, in particular on the backside of Josh Rosen.
All right, let's go to our rules analyst.
After video review, the ruling on the field of fumble is confirmed. 1st down.
Well, we don't need to go to our rules analyst. Texas A&M has the football.
Yeah, that initial look, Gus, I totally agree, because as Johnson's hand makes contact, you see the control is being lost with the ball in Rosen's hand. Credit Johnson just hustling the entire time. Absolutely. I think that's the correct call. Good confirmation by the replay officials, and A&M with a golden opportunity here.
They'll start 1st and goal at the Bruins 3. Starkel lobs it in the corner and incomplete. Ball intended for Rogers. And Kevin Sumlin knows that one was thrown a little high for Kendrick Rogers.
Yeah, in particular because Rogers has such a height advantage. He's 6'3". He was working against Darnay Holmes, the true freshman. Holmes is only 5'10". So at that point, you just got to put the ball right back at the back pylon and let your tall wide receiver go and get it.
Keith Ford scored the last time he touched the ball. 2nd and goal at the 3. Ford, no, in the corner and incomplete. This time, Christian Kirk, the intended receiver. Good defense by UCLA. Wadu,
the spark plug. They have him listed at 5'9", 180 pounds. Coach Mora told us he might be 170 pounds soaking wet. And this is a huge opportunity here for UCLA. In sudden change situation, a chance to get off the field and force a kick.
3rd down goal at the 3. Keith Ford lines up in the backfield. They give it to Ford around the left side, and he won't get in. Wonderful job, but Darius Pickett denied him.
Pickett had to avoid the block of the wide receiver who's going to come down and try to block him right here. And you're going to see our Darius Pickett. He's going to slip right past him. He spins, and then he is in perfect position to stop Ford at the 2-yard line.
So Daniel LaCamera will come on to attempt a 19-yard field goal. And it's good. Texas A&M takes a 10-3 lead on the road against UCLA. The defense forcing the turnover, and the Aggies look strong. 10-3, Texas A&M off to a great beginning with 5:11 to play in the 1st quarter against UCLA.
2 huge questions answered for A&M. One, how you replacing Myles Garrett? Jarrett Johnson has been terrific so far in this opening quarter of the season. And the other question was at quarterback, and you got to say Nick Starkel has started this game very well. Now, missed an opportunity on the last series to get it in the end zone, but you take it at 10-3 and him settling in nicely.
Wade Mann kicks it off. Darnay Holmes is deep. And Holmes will start from his own goal line. Ooh! Woo! Wood being laid on the field. Buddy Johnson.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to college football, Darnay Holmes. He's trying to cut back, and that is just a perfect tackle from Johnson. Oh, goodness. Boy, after plays like that, the energy that a defense generally comes out and plays with is off the charts. I'd be shocked if they're not flying around on this snap.
Rosen 5 of 10, 30 yards, first down at their own 15. On the run for me. And he coughed it up. Aggies may have it. And they do. Armani Watts with a wonderful chopping tackle, and Miles Jones fell on it. Back-to-back turnovers for UCLA.
Well, that's the energy we're talking about. Armani Watts, he's their best player on the defensive side. He goes down low. That ball comes out clearly on the ground, and Texas A&M with a second straight turnover. There is not a better start that you could have written for Kevin Sumlin and this Aggies team so far today at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. They've done everything right so far.
And Joel, the thing they've done the most, in my opinion, is this Aggies team has come out playing physical football.
They are the more physical team right now on each line of scrimmage. I would expect a little heavy dose of running the football right here from Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator.
They bring in two backs, Keith Ford, Travion Williams. This is Travion Williams, and he'll get inside the 15.
And that two-back set, when they've got both Ford and Williams in the backfield, that's so difficult to defend because they generally send them in opposite directions. And the linebackers for UCLA have to respect those two players. It creates seams and gaps for the defense.
A 6-yard gain by Williams, 2nd and 4. And they'll give it to him again. Look at him run, spinning down to the 2-yard line. Darius Pickett with the saving tackle.
You see, here's the motion. You're going to send Ford one way and the other back the other way, and what it does is creates those big seams in the middle of the defense, and A&M is taking advantage of that right now in the run game.
Travion Williams. 1st and goal at the 2. Williams, will he walk in? Touchdown A&M. Dust your shoulders off, young man. 16-3.
Well, exactly like we expected. It was going to be sheer brute force by that offensive line, running the football in for a touchdown. Williams right on that left side, and this is just straight speed to the pylon, and he gets it in for the touchdown.
Extra point up and good. No cute stuff that time for Kevin Sumlin's offense. They pounded it right down the throats of UCLA. And right now, A&M with 10 points off turnovers in the last minute and 7 seconds.
I just love the fact that Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator for A&M, he found something. He found that when he's got both backs in the backfield, Travion Williams as well as Ford, whenever he goes with misdirection or sending one of those players in the opposite direction of the carry, he is creating big seams, and UCLA is going to have to make an adjustment because that was far too easy for a 3-play drive, marching it in, taking a 17-3 lead.
Here's Coach Mazzoni. Won the game last year in College Station using an old UCLA play, Joel, to get Knight into the end zone for the score.
Yeah, that's one thing that not a lot is going to change when it comes to Noel Mazzoni's system. Now, it may change in emphasis, but the scheme is not going to change. And right now with A&M, the emphasis is going to be on those two backs, Travion Williams and Ford, as well as finding creative ways to get Christian Kirk the ball. That's what I love about his offensive system, is that it's flexible enough to do all those things.
So man sends it away. And the Bruins will start from the 10-yard line. But that special teams for Texas A&M, so dominant to start this game, not a lot of room. Saturday, it's a big-time college football doubleheader on Fox. First, Nebraska looks to flex their Big Ten muscle when they take on Oregon at 4 Eastern. Then number 14, Stanford battles Heisman hopeful Sam Darnold and the number 4 USC Trojans at 8:30. It's College Football Saturday, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox. UCLA struggling a little bit yesterday. USC rather struggling a little bit yesterday against Western Michigan.
I think most people surprised with the way that USC's defense played in that game, but Western Michigan's got some talent. Remember, they were undefeated in the regular season a year ago.
13-0 as Rosen completes the pass to the near side. Darren Andrews, well covered, but managed to haul it in.
Last year in this ball game, UCLA was down all the way into the fourth quarter by as much as 15. So not uncharted waters for UCLA, but the fact that it happened this quickly in the first quarter is a bit shocking.
Second down and 5 at the 25. Rosen incomplete. No flag. Andrews again the intended receiver.
Well, there should have been a flag. I thought that was a missed call there by the officials, because the defensive backs for Texas A&M, watch this, as Lasley, number 2, is going to be trying to run his route. He just gets shoved right into the other wide receiver. Rosen's looking for a flag. I thought there should have been one as well.
Second, make that third down and 5 at the 25. Soso Jamabo in the game at running back. Rosen deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. And the Bruins will have to punt it away.
This is some athleticism, because as Rosen's looking here, Peavy's going to jump all the way to his right to back that down. Normally you just see those defensive linemen just kind of blindly stick their hand up, but Peavy's able to actually locate the football, go over and bat that thing down.
And the punt deep from Austin Kent. Kirk looking for a hole. Kirk bursting through down the sideline, still on his feet, and he finally goes down at the Bruin 45. A 43-yard return, but there is a flag on the play.
During the kick, holding, number 7 receiving team. Till be half the distance from the end of the kick. First down.
Well, Kirk, so dangerous in these situations, and UCLA was concerned about their kicking game. You see the hold right there, right in screen. Flag comes out, easy call, and negates just an excellent return. You know, the thing that makes coaches and just drives coaches bananas is that wasn't needed to support the return. That's one of those things where that's not an effort play. You can hold the guy trying your best, and it's right in front of, and you happen to hold him, and coaches say, hey, listen, keep working hard, just try not to hold him. But when it's like that, it's almost like a mental error or a missed assignment. There's no reason to hold a player that far away from Christian Kirk, your returner.
So instead of having the ball inside UCLA territory, Aggies will start from their own 6.
Jeez, that's like 50 yards of penalties. When you just wrap up where they would have been, the other side of the 50, now starting at the 6.
First down and 10 at the 6. Travion Williams in the backfield. And they give it to him. And he's met at the line of scrimmage, falls forward maybe a yard and a half. Kenny Young with the tackle.
You see, these linebackers, when there's only a single running back, Gus, in the backfield, they don't have anything to pay attention to as far as misdirection. So their eyes are all over the one running back, and they can scrape across, find the hole, and make the tackle. They've been doing just fine when it's been this set. It's when they've got 2 backs in the backfield that UCLA has struggled.
Second and 8 at the 8. Starkle to throw it. Incomplete. Starkle 3 of 6 to start this game.
They were trying to set up a screen pass or something, because the wide receivers were actually downfield trying to block. And Nick Starkel threw that ball past the line of scrimmage. I think they're talking right now to see if there was an ineligible man downfield.
Intentional grounding. The passer on offense. While in the pocket, he threw the ball into an area where there's no eligible receiver. Penalty places the ball at the spot of the pass with loss of down. Third down.
Interesting call here. Here's what they're going to say is that because these wide receivers at the top of your screen had no intention to catch it, the running back is actually number 5, Travion Williams, far away from where that ball was, and because of the way that that play manifested itself, that it was intentional grounding. Interesting call right there. I don't disagree with what the officials were doing on that play.
So that'll make it 3rd down and 13 at the 3. Does UCLA bring pressure here?
Doesn't look like it.
And they hand it off. Williams trying to get outside, and it looks like he has a 1st down. Travion Williams with that burst of speed and the presence of mind to know where the marker was. On 3rd and 13, he gets 14.
And the patience just to hand the ball off when there was only 5 defensive players in the run box. They hand it off and they get paid off. Able to move the chains.
And some breathing room for the Aggies. 1st and 10 at the 17. Starkel, far side. And Osborne with the catch and some good running after the catch for Jamon.
Boy, this is an impressive guy. Just a true freshman from the Houston area, 6'2", 220. I visited Texas A&M in the spring. He was the 2nd best player on the field next to Christian Kirk.
Let's see if Starkel can get it to him today. 2nd and 4 at the 23. They hand it off. Williams, and he is stuffed. Nicely done by Rick Wade and Odigizua.
I'm not going to be shocked here if A&M goes right back to the run game. They did it on the last 3rd down. They've been having a lot of success running the football. Travion Williams not in the game. Ford's going to be in the backfield. It's either that or some sort of quick screen to the top of your screen to Christian Kirk.
3rd down, 3 at the 24. Starkel to throw it. Over the middle and incomplete. Osborne, the intended receiver, and the Aggie offense will jog off the field.
Yeah, and for the first time, UCLA was able to create a little pressure in the pocket and force Starkel to feel their presence. Got rid of it maybe a hair too soon, as Osborne maybe had a step on his true freshman counterpart, Darnay Holmes.
So Shane Trapuka will come in to punt it away. He's standing at the 10. Yes, he's a Trapuka. Uncle Kelly played in the NBA and at Notre Dame. Darius Pickett, the deep man. High spiraling kick. Pickett with the fair catch at the 35, a 41-yard punt.
Well, what a huge series this is now for UCLA. Their defense able to do their job, gets them the ball with pretty good field position. And the issue, as Jed Fish talks with his offense there, the new offensive coordinator, is that they just have not been able to establish the run. Now, clearly, that was a problem last year and something that they need to address. So what they have done is become just the drop back passing team. Rosen has not been able to be protected in the pocket. So a precarious situation here. I look to see if Jed Fish tries to establish that run game again, in particular in the stretch zone outside of the tackles.
And they'll pitch it on the run for me. Lowers his shoulder and delivers a blow. What a blow delivered. Henderson with the tackle, but Bolu Olorunfemi lowered his shoulder.
Wow.
Well, remember, Miles Jones is a true freshman.
And Miles Jones, he's going to remember that one for a long time.
A 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9 at the 37. And they'll run the reverse. Losley spinning forward, and he dives to the 43-yard line. Armani Watts with the tackle.
That's exactly what Jed Fish has done, Gus. He's trying to get the ball in the run game on the perimeter, trying to help Josh Rosen and help his offensive line protect what could be the best pure passer in all of college football.
That takes us to the end of the first quarter. 17-3 A&M. A&M with a 17-3 lead over UCLA, the SEC versus the Pac-12. As we start the second quarter, UCLA with 52 yards of offense in the first quarter, 2 turnovers. A&M had 114. Third down and 4 now at the 42-yard line for the Bruins. Josh Rosen looking to get on track. They need to protect him. Here's Rosen over the middle and incomplete. That ball dropped by Jordan Lastly, and the Bruins will have to punt it away.
Yeah, I've been so impressed with number 10, Miles Jones, for Texas A&M. He's 6'4", listed at only 177 pounds. He's a true freshman from Magnolia, Texas, and he has been really good so far today in coverage.
Stephen Flintoff punting it away. Kirk clears, and that ball takes a UCLA bounce. It'll be downed at the 1-yard line. A 57-yard punt.
That defense for UCLA has got to expect that A&M is going to lean on the run game to try to get them out of the shadow of their own end zone.
And don't forget to check out Breaking the Huddle with my main man, my partner Joel Klatt, on Facebook Live Wednesday at 5:30 Eastern, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. How about those Michigan Wolverines? They looked pretty fast on defense yesterday against Florida.
I got to tell you, all the talk was about, oh, they have 10 new starters on defense. Well, those were the best 10 new starters I've seen in a long time. They have experience. They played a lot a year ago. Michigan certainly impressive yesterday, along with Alabama, doing what they were able to do to Florida State.
First down to 10 at the 1. Aggies running it. And they'll get some breathing room. Also, the most impressive team in college football yesterday.
I know who.
The most impressive team in college football yesterday.
Do you want me to say it, or do you?
Yeah, you could say it. You should say it. Howard University beating UNLV, 45-point underdogs. Bring on Alabama. Here's Ford, and he'll get to the 15.
Boy, I tell you,
9-yard gain.
This is just a clinic being put on by the offensive line for Texas A&M. So impressive. Starting at the 1-yard line, snap the ball a couple of times, hand it off, and you're sitting at the 15.
And they've juggled that offensive line.
We wanted to get the 5 best players out there, regardless of position. They've done that.
Aggies staying on the ground with 4. So Eric McCoy, at the beginning of the season, they had him at left guard. He played center all of last year, and they realized they needed to move him back to his normal spot.
That's right. Colton Prater, who they toyed with at the center position, has earned a spot there at the left tackle spot. Ryan McCollum, the left guard, number 77. Their right side, Connor Lanafear and Keaton Sutherland. They've done a great job owning the line of scrimmage. Nick Starkel, in his first start, has not had to do anything all that impressive because the offensive line is owning it.
A&M continuing to dominate, and watch Williams down the sideline. Can he get there? Williams finally knocked down inside the 10 by Nate Metters. Travion Williams with a 72-yard run.
You gotta love what you got going on here. You're gonna get this, and then the pull around from the right tackle. Sutherland is going to get the key block, but that left side did a great job of sealing the linebackers, and then Williams with his speed on the edge. This is so far a devastating rushing attack for the Aggies.
Remember, as a true freshman, he ran for over 1,000. He's got 119 yards rushing in the first half already, along with that big 72-yard run.
UCLA does not have an answer right now, and it really doesn't matter whether it's Williams or Ford.
One thing I like about this Aggies team, Joel, they're playing with a sense of urgency.
Yes, and a physicality. This is still a physical game, played by physical men.
Second down and goal at the 6. Keith Ford back in. He's already scored a touchdown. They fire it underneath. Caught at the 2-yard line by Osborne.
Boy, even here on a third down, there is no reason to do anything other than hand the ball off. If for nothing else, the O-line has earned it. They have earned the right to try to punch this in right now in the run game. Be shocked if they weren't able to do so. They've been that dominant thus far.
3rd and goal at the 2. Ford remains in. They give it to him. Can he get in? Yes, he can. Touchdown, Aggies. Smash mouth football. That's what they call it in Texas, Joel Klatt, and that's what we're seeing.
Here's what you're going to get is the double team from the left side of the offensive line. Just an outstanding job by McCollum and Prater. And that double team is going to move the line of scrimmage enough that even if the linebacker who was there, his name Kenny Young, 42, he's already with his back against the goal line. And then the running back wins the mano-a-mano, and it's a touchdown for the Aggies.
The camera in for the extra point. And it's good. The Aggies started that drive on the 1. They go 99 yards, getting the big 72-yard run from Travion Williams. Texas A&M smacking around UCLA. And the Aggies lead it 24-3, and we're joined by our rules analysts, our men of distinction, Dean Blandino, Mike Pereira. Guys, we've already had some very interesting calls in this one.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't even kind of agree on that pass fumble play at first. It was so close. But you know, one thing with replay is whatever's called on the field, that's going to take precedence, right, Dean?
Yeah, unless it's clear and obvious. And that was a close play. The key was, did the hand come forward with control before it was knocked loose? And it was so close, and we would have let it stand. They confirmed it.
So UCLA starting from the goal line. Texas A&M has been great on special teams, and this time the Bruins' Darnay Holmes picks up some positive yardage.
I got to say, from my standpoint as an analyst, I've had the best rules official in the business helping us out, and I'm really thrilled that we're going to have a second one helping us out now as well.
Well, from my standpoint, you're the best pupil I've ever had. I mean, you're like, we're not needed when you're around most of the time because you've done a great job with the rules. Love the way you compliment the officials when they do something good. And when you disagree, you disagree respectfully, which we do appreciate.
You know, you bring up an interesting point, though. I think people need to start thinking about complimenting officials more. In the youth ranks, we're at a shortage of officials around the country, and we need more people to get involved.
First down and 10 at the 23, and they're running it over the right side. Dean Blandino will be with us next week. USC and Stanford. Guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. We'll let you get over to the booth, and you will be with us for the rest of the game. Thank you.
This defense for Texas A&M, they're taking a page out of their offense's book, which is owning the line of scrimmage. And this defensive line has played really well. And that front seven has been very active, not allowing UCLA to get any traction in their run game.
Second down and 9 at the 24. On the run for me. The deep man. Out of the offset eye. Play fake. Rosen. Incomplete. Pabico, the intended receiver, just no rhythm offensively for the Bruins.
Yeah, and they're right now in desperate need of help for Rosen on the offensive line, and they need a playmaker on the outside. Even when Rosen has had time, which he did on the last snap, no one's been able to get any separation in the secondary and get themselves open to a point where Rosen can hit them down the field.
Bruins averaging 2.4 yards per play. Third down and 9 at the 24. Rosen out of the shotgun. Steps up in the pocket. Decides to run it. He's got to get down. He gets out of bounds at the 30. As Alaka knocks him out of play.
Again, nowhere to go with the football. No separation from the wide receivers for UCLA. And A&M is just dominating this game right now. This secondary for A&M really a strength for this team. And they're blanketing these wide receivers. Nowhere to go.
Flintoff kicks it away. Kirk allows it to go out of bounds. And Texas A&M will start at their own 35. Hot start for A&M. They'll have the football right after this.
I'm leaving USC.
Of UCLA. Let's go downstairs where our Ginny Taft is standing by.
Well, Gus, 122 yards, 1 touchdown for Travion Williams. What a start, doing all of that while dealing with Hurricane Harvey, his family airlifted by the Coast Guard from their Houston home. At times, he didn't know what shelter they were at, but he told us all he could do was focus on game week. This game, this performance is for them.
All right, thank you very much, Ginny. Texas A&M, College Station, about 90 miles away from Houston. They got 20 inches of rain in College Station. Pete Ford running. And he's stopped by Matt Dickerson.
They're back, Gus, to this 2 running back formation.
Now a new quarterback in the game, Kellen Mond, the 6'2", 210-pound freshman from San Antonio, number 11. And they give it to Ford. Kevin Sumlin did tell us that he would play 2, maybe even 3 quarterbacks in this game.
Yeah, and what a great spot to put in a kid for his first action. Just a true freshman from the San Antonio area, but he played at IMG Academy last year down in Florida. Mature for his age, and with the offensive line playing so well, it's a great spot to bring him in, get his feet wet.
3rd down, 3 at the 42. Mond will throw it for the first time. Near side, incomplete. Very good throw. Receiver Kendrick Rogers just unable to make the catch, and the Aggies will punt it away. Now, if you're Coach Sumlin, do you second guess yourself now, putting another quarterback in when your team is playing so well under Starkel?
I think that the reason it's 2 facets to this. One is the offensive line was playing so well, so you think that you can go out there, get a first down, just run the football. But also, Gus, the defense is also playing well. So even if he feels like he stalls out the offensive momentum, the defense has still got his back.
Darius Pickett signaling for the fair catch. Lets it go over his head and into the end zone for a touchback. 58-yard punt coming up. Josh Rosen trying to get something going offensively for the Bruins. They're down big on their home turf.
Kevin Sumlin enjoying the setting so far in SoCal. His Aggies up by 21. Rob Stone here with you. Coming up on the State Farm at halftime, we're going to have highlights of a top 25 showdown. West Virginia taking on Virginia Tech. Plus, Bruce Feldman is going to join us live. He has some significant injury news regarding some big-time quarterbacks. And Matt, Robert, Coach are going to join us. Guys, Coach is going to take you inside the Bruin locker room. Our sensors have been notified.
All right, thank you, Rob. Here's Rosen on the play fake. Under pressure, throws, incomplete. Rosen, 6 of 16, 35 yards. The running game, 9 carries, 25 yards.
So Darren Andrews is going to be coming from the right side. So as Rosen is waiting for him, here he is, number 7. He's just floating through the field. He doesn't do anything to get himself open, and then he just kind of lets the ball hit the ground. That was very questionable effort from Darren Andrews there, with Rosen fighting for his life in the pocket, trying to find someone to hit down the field.
2nd and 10, overrun for me. And he'll pick up a couple.
Back in one of these situations, which is where Texas A&M has excelled, both in getting to the quarterback and their coverage down the field has been tremendous. The best part about what A&M is doing in these situations, Gus, is they're getting home with 4 guys. They're getting pressure with just the down 4, so they don't have to blitz. It allows for a lot of white hats in coverage guarding those Bruins down the field.
3rd down and 7 at the 23 for the Bruins. Rosen throwing off his back foot, incomplete. That one high. Miles Jones, the true freshman, covering Babico, the intended receiver. I'll tell you what, the secondary for Texas A&M looks great too, Joel. It just doesn't seem like anybody's open.
No, and there hasn't been anybody open. You know, they're really strong at the safety position with Watson, Wilson, but gotta be very impressed with Miles Jones in his debut here for the Aggies.
Christian Kirk standing at the 30. Austin Kent sends it away. And this one will trickle out of play at the 44. 24-3 A&M. They'll have it on offense after this. Kellen Mond mains in the game, a 5-star recruit. Was the number 3 dual threat quarterback in the class of 2017 out of IMG Academy in Florida. In 10 games at IMG, 2,700 yards passing, 20 passing touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. As he hands it off to Williams. And Travion Williams has been brilliant here in the first half. Pickett with the tackle, over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, and with a nice assist from that O-line, you know, who's also been brilliant.
127 yards total for Williams. And he'll allow Mond. Fakes the handoff and gets it over the line of scrimmage. According to Coach Sumlin, his upside is limitless. His legs definitely come into play more than our other quarterbacks, but he's still a young guy.
Well, he had the first 3rd down throw that he had an opportunity to try to get him into one-on-one situation, throwing to his left. Now another 3rd down, but this very well could be a run play trying to utilize his legs.
3rd down and 4 at midfield. Ford in the game at running back. They give it to Mond. Mond picks up the 1st down and more. As he's dragged down at the 34-yard line, a 16-yard gain by Pickett with the tackle.
I love what they're doing because his eyes are just going to be all over the defensive end. And as Ford goes to the left, the defensive end gets blocked, and there's nothing but green grass. Nice, easy play call for a true freshman, and he's able to run for the 1st down.
At the 34. Ford, no, Mond tucks it, and he'll get a ½ yard on the play as Keyshawn Lucier South comes up with the tackle.
You know, this is always so interesting, in particular when there's young quarterbacks on the field and it starts to rain a little bit. I always wonder about if they're a good bad weather quarterback. You know, that's always in the head of a quarterback, is the grip of the football, and we'll see that come to fruition right here with Kellen Mond.
2nd down and 9. Mond flips it out into the flats, incomplete. Intended for Kirk. Rain coming down here in Pasadena. Joel, I thought it never rained in Southern California.
You know, it generally doesn't, and Mond is having to deal with it. Boy, that was awful close to going backwards. Obviously rolling out of bounds, so they get away with it. But the first thing to go when it starts to rain is your confidence as a quarterback, and the ball is always going to tail down towards the feet of the wide receiver.
3rd down, 9 at the 33. Play clock winding down. And a timeout called by Texas A&M. 6:18 to go. 2nd quarter, 24-3. The man doing the updates for us today, his name is Mike Hill. He was a sergeant in the United States Air Force. Let's go to Mike Hill for an update. Sergeant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Top 25 action. Virginia Tech, West Virginia, 3-zip Tech here in the 2nd. But here come the Mountaineers. That's Florida transfer Will Greer finding David Sills with the 11-yard strike. Converted quarterback making plays at receiver. WVU takes the lead, 7-3 in the 2nd. Back to you, Gus, Joel, and Jenny.
All right, Sarge, appreciate it. West Virginia having a very solid year a season ago.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be just as good or maybe better this year. 2 guys that not a lot of people have heard a lot about in the offseason. Their defensive coordinator, Tony Gibson, and their running back, Justin Crawford. Great players, but here on a 3rd down here, true freshman's got to make a play.
Let's see what Mond can do on 3rd down and 9 at the UCLA 33. He tucks it, looking, still running. Mond, 1st down inside the UCLA 20-yard line. That's a 14-yard gain on 3rd and 9. Wadu with the ankle tackle.
Just a complete design run for the quarterback. It was a token fake to the running back because the line actually folded on itself, kind of pulled a tackle around to create the hole for Mond.
1st down, 4.
This offensive line has been so good today, regardless of quarterback, regardless of back in the backfield, whether it's been Travion Williams or Keith Ford. They have had big holes to run through thanks to those 5 big fellas up front.
Gain of 5 on the last play, 2nd and 5 at the 14. And they'll run it straight ahead again and pick up a first down for Keith Ford. Not a lot of secret, tricky stuff going on with Texas A&M.
No, and that's what's demoralizing. This game, the game of football, is a game of wills. You are trying to break the will of your opponent. And when they know you're going to run and you know you're going to run and you're still successful, that's the start of breaking the will of the opponent.
First down and goal at the 9. Travion Williams comes back in. Mond runs it. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Rick Wade, the redshirt sophomore from Santa Margarita, with the tackle. Lanphier, helmet came off. He'll have to sit out for at least 1 play.
So his replacement is Jared Hawker, number 73. He's also a true freshman. So many young faces for Texas A&M. They had 29 new faces this year. Coach Sumlin told us this is a totally brand new team.
219 yards rushing for Texas A&M in the first half. Kellen Mond has come in for Nick Starkel, and he's been impressive. Sprints out of the pocket, throws, has a receiver. Kirk can't get in. Christian Kirk almost getting into the end zone for a touchdown.
I love that play call because you get the true freshman quarterback on the move to his right. And you're trying to get the ball to your best playmaker. Just wasn't able to get in. That was good coverage there from Darnay Holmes. In coverage from his corner spot. Able to force him out of bounds here at the 1-yard line.
3rd down, goal at the 1. Ford in the game at running back. Ford submarining. Touchdown Aggies. 3rd touchdown of the day for Keith Ford.
Every time you hand the football off inside the 5-yard line, there's going to be an unblocked defender. The running back knows it, and at this point it's just man-to-man who can win at the goal line, and Ford has done it a few times today over the linebacker number 42, Kenny Young.
The camera, extra point, good. 31-3, Texas A&M. 4 rushing touchdowns for the Aggies. Smash mouth all the way.
Yeah, this has been a totally dominant performance here in the first half. This has not been trick plays. It hasn't been 2 pick sixes, although they did get the turnover that led to an easy touchdown. They've dominated on each line of scrimmage. Their skill position guys, in particular on defense, Gus, that secondary has not allowed UCLA to get loose at all in the passing game. And another 10, 11, 12 play drive, 11 plays, 56 yards, 4 minutes off the clock before Ford takes it in on the 1-yard touchdown plunge.
Darnay Holmes back deep for the Bruins as Mann will send it away. He's their kickoff specialist. Braden Mann, strong legs, sophomore. Holmes from the 5. Gets to the 30, all the way up to the 34. Now here are some famous faces giving their schools some love as they show their colors.
Hey Aggies, it's Miles Garrett. Just wanted to say good luck and go get the Bruins. Gig 'em.
I'm happy to be an Aggie. 2008.
Woo! Hi, this is Troy Aikman, and I want to wish my UCLA Bruins the best of luck this season. And let's do it right. Week 1 with a win over the A&M Aggies.
Well, Troy, I'm sure you're not too happy. UCLA with 3 first downs on the first drive. They have not recorded a first down since. On the run for me. The single setback. And they'll give it to him. He crosses the 35 up to the 37. Olaka again with the tackle on defense for A&M.
Yeah, if they're going to have any chance in this game, they've got to create something, whether it's a schematic edge or a physical edge in this series here before the half. They're going to have to find something in their offense, whether it's a run game or throwing the ball down the field.
Gain of 4 in the last play. Well, the run for me again. And he'll pick up a first down. Jones with the tackle.
Finally getting some push out of their offensive line. Finally moving the chains. It's their first down since that first series that you were talking about.
1st and 10 to the 44. Play fake. Rosen throws the deep ball. Down the field. He's got a receiver. Caught inside the 5. Jordan Lasley. Rosen put that one up and on the money.
Couple of flags out. This is going to be pass interference.
Pass interference. Number 14 of the defense. Penalties decline. The result of the play is a first down.
It's exactly what they're able to do, is find some sort of success. It started with the run game. They get the first down, and then a big, heavy play-action fake from Josh Rosen, and he's able to get the ball down behind the defense, and Lasley comes down with it.
A 54-yard reception. 1st and goal at the 2-yard line for UCLA. Jalen Starks comes in at running back, along with Olarunfemi. They hand it to the up man. Starks pushing forward. Touchdown Bruins.
Well, they needed that answer like they needed air to breathe in this game. Great push by the offensive line. Turning around, just giving it to the big fullback, Jalen Starks. He runs 265 pounds, a sophomore from Van Nuys. He's the short yardage back, and you can see why. Powerful, getting into the end zone.
Molson in for the extra point. And it's good. 31-10, 3 minutes to go. 2nd quarter. Rosen showing that golden arm as he put that ball right in the hands of Lasley.
And more importantly, that didn't take a lot of time. So now you can start thinking about, you got a little momentum going. You've got 3 timeouts still. That only took 1 minute and 6 seconds to score on that last drive. So there is a chance that they could give their offense the ball back and potentially cut down the lead somewhere in that 31-17. Boy, would that be a change of fortunes for the Bruin after getting thoroughly dominated during the course of this first half, and some life for Josh Rosen.
Remember last year in College Station, UCLA rallied from 15 down in the 4th quarter to force overtime. Aggies won at 31-24 on that Trevor Knight 4th and 1 touchdown run.
Now, this momentum that they've created is all well and good, but this momentum is going to go only as far as the run defense for UCLA allows. Because A&M, during the course of this first half, is just taking the air out of the stadium and the ball by handing the ball off to their 2 big backs and letting them run down the field.
Looks like Nick Starkel will return to his quarterback spot when A&M gets the ball back. J.J. Molson will send it away. Christian Kirk is the deep man. Kirk from the 1. Kirk at the 30. Still on his feet. And finally roughed up and taken down at the 39. But a very good return with his preseason All-American.
Excellent field position there. And now Noam Mazzoni talking to his offense. This is going to be about the offensive line reestablishing themselves, potentially going back to that 2-back set with both Ford and Williams in the backfield. Remember, anytime they do that, you're going to have some misdirection, and then they're trying to create that seam in the middle of the defense for UCLA.
Nick Starkel back in at quarterback. Word surfaced Thursday that he was the answer to the A&M quarterback Riddle, who was going to start the season opener. Mond has come in, and he's played well for Texas A&M. First down at the 39 for the Aggies. Williams, over 100 yards rushing. Williams again, high stepping, big time player. 61 big ones, touchdown Texas A&M. Travion Williams, 15 carries, 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's got a scepter. He's feeling that good about himself.
Hey, what are you doing? What a run. What a run. Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator, is just dicing this defense up with this 2-back set for Texas A&M.
Dejection. Coming into this season, according to reports, Jim Mora under pressure. 4-8 last year, 2-7 in the conference. And they're not getting off to a good start on their home field.
The motion is going to clear out a linebacker. Watch the linebacker clear out. Now, at this point, it's just a math equation. All you've got is 5 Bruins in the run box, and you've got 5 Texas A&M offensive linemen. That's the absolutely best possible scenario to run the ball. All they've got to do is put a man on a man, and boom, they hit the edge, and he's down the field. That set has created amazing seams in that defense. Eric McCoy, 64. He really had that key block. Great block by the left guard. Center getting around in that spot. And Travion Williams takes it the distance.
Texas A&M with 281 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. And the numbers for Travion. His career high, 217 against Tennessee. 38-10. 2:40 to play in the second quarter. Don't forget, the State Farm halftime show is coming up. The guys will break down the first half and have highlights from other games around college football.
Well,
Alabama looked good yesterday against Florida State, even though they lost a couple of key players.
There was some teams that looked awful good yesterday, weren't there?
Yep.
I thought Michigan looked great. Probably could have been around 49-3 in that game against Florida. I thought Alabama looked really strong against Florida State.
Oklahoma.
I don't know if any team has looked good as what A&M has looked so far today. I mean, this has been dominant in a game in which they were an underdog. They've come in here and just handed it to the Bruins.
First down at the 25. They pitch it to Darnay Holmes. Down the sideline. And Holmes picks up a first down. Knocked out a play by Armani Watts. A 13-yard gain.
This offense going to try to chip away. They got the ball back quickly, but it was after a touchdown and not a solid defensive series. So they're not going to be able to cut back into the lead, in particular before halftime, like they thought they might when it was 31-10. But still, Rosen is starting to find some seams in this Texas A&M defense.
Don't forget, Texas A&M will get the ball to start the second half. First and 10 at the 38. Rosen bottled up, throws on the move, and caught for first down. Great throw, terrific catch by Caleb Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson had to reach back across the left side of his body. Caleb Wilson, 6'4", 235 pounds. He's got the best hands on the team and displayed it right there.
Back-to-back 13-yard gains for UCLA. Rosen has got to unleash it now. And he finds his receiver once again for another first down, and it's Wilson.
Wilson is a son of a football coach. His dad was a defensive line coach for Colorado, Oklahoma, now in the National Football League. He's been around football his entire life. And you can see how easily he picks that ball out of the air with those great hands of his.
Texas A&M calls a timeout. They have one left. In the Huddle is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
When you dive into these huddles in the timeout, generally what you're trying to talk about is exactly what player or area of the defense that you're going to want to scheme against. Talking about the formation, talking about, in particular, a secondary player, if they're going to go out there and throw the football, and then they're going to start talking about the details. Once they land on a concept, you saw Jedd Fisch actually hit the helmet of Jordan Lasley, number 2. Maybe they're talking about a detail for Jordan Lasley. They're designing a play potentially for Jordan Lasley. Those timeouts in the huddle are very beneficial for an offensive coordinator like Jedd Fisch.
Fisch, the 3rd offensive coordinator for UCLA in 3 years. 1st and 10. Rosen looking, and that one batted down at the line of scrimmage. Armani Watts got up high.
Boy, I love his athleticism. Armani Watts, the senior, he got injured last season. Probably the only reason he's back. He was an NFL talent last year. He's going to be an NFL talent this year, but because of that injury, missed some starts. He's back with the Aggies. Last season, a couple of interceptions, 6 tackles for loss.
Preseason All-SEC and 2nd team All-American. 2nd and 10 at the 37. Rosen in trouble again. They knock him down, and it's incomplete.
Trying to set up a screen, and it just never got set up. Rosen had pressure right in his face. Had nowhere to go with that ball. That was Terrell Dotson, the sophomore from Franklin, Tennessee, bearing down on Rosen in the backfield.
1:35 to play in the 2nd quarter. 38-10. UCLA 2 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Faced with a 3rd and 10 at the 37-yard line. Rosen hit as he throws, incomplete. And he has been taking a licking, and he gets up slowly this time. Got him right in his ribs.
And they're not doing anything exotic rushing the passer except doing it with effort and tenacity. They get to him there. That's Alaka, the junior from Houston, 6'3", 240, right into the ribs of Josh Rosen. They're able to keep everyone back into the secondary. And now UCLA is going to stay on the field for a 4th down.
Bruins throwing caution to the wind now. Down big on their home field. 38-10. 4th down and 10 at the 37. Trips at the top of your screen. Rosen looks that way. Buying time, in trouble. Nobody home, and I think they're going to call this a sack. Yes, Tyrell Dotson. And Rosen limps off the field.
Well, here's where he was looking to start the play. Over on the left side, 3 wide receivers and nowhere to go. No separation. No one past the chains that was open at all. And A&M and their pass rush is able to get back to Rosen and force him to escape the pocket. Tried to get rid of it, but just nowhere to go, and he was down before he let go of that football. What an amazing job by that secondary for Texas A&M. The fact that they are blanketing the wide receivers got to be frustrating for Rosen because he's got nowhere to go with that football.
So a 1st down at the 46. Rosen limping off the field. Not a good sign. Starkel back in at quarterback. High snap. Handled. Over the middle, incomplete. Keith Ford, the intended receiver.
All right, with 1 timeout here, sure they're going to want to try to be aggressive because they're not all that far from getting into field goal range. They're going to need to get this ball somewhere into that 34-yard line area, 33-yard line in order to try a field goal. So you're just talking about somewhere in the neighborhood about 12 or 13 more yards for A&M to get some points.
2nd and 10. Play fake. They swing it out. And it's Kirk, and he's dropped immediately. Well done defensively by Jaleel Wadu.
Great recognition from Wadu. And then he has the athleticism to get Kirk to the ground. And now at this point, this is when I wouldn't want to take any chances. You don't want to create a score for the defense with a young quarterback. So this is where you just try to bleed out the clock a little bit, maybe hand the ball off and punt the ball down inside the 10-yard line. And I think that's exactly what Texas A&M is going to do here with Nick Starkel.
A loss of 7 on the last play. Makes it 3rd down and 17 at the 47. Ford in the backfield. And they give it to him. Looking. Ford still running. Galloping. And he'll get to the 41. That's a 12-yard gain. But all in all, Joel Klatt, complete domination on both sides of the ball for Texas A&M. This team has played with a physicality, with an urgency, and it's paying off for Coach Sumlin. 38-10, the score at halftime. Texas A&M 342 total yards. UCLA 151. After a commercial break, we'll send you to Mike Hill, the sergeant, in the studio. And welcome back to the legendary Rose Bowl here in Pasadena, California. And that score is the score, folks. 38-10. Texas A&M leading UCLA as we head into the second half. Gus Johnson, along with my partner Joel Klatt. Whoa. Texas A&M.
Yes.
Played with an urgency.
Yep.
A physicality.
Yep.
And with precision in that first half.
You know, and for me, it boiled down to two things. The offensive line for Texas A&M was winning the line of scrimmage, and the defensive line was putting pressure on Josh Rosen. Plus, Noel Mazzoni was doing an excellent job with that two-back set. Ford goes in motion. They give it to Travion Williams. He's got a big hole. They do it again. The motion clears out a linebacker. Travion Williams around the edge. Huge block on the outside, and Williams is gone for the touchdown. On the other side, the defense, they have been pressuring Josh Rosen the entire day, and they've done it with just 4 and 5 rushers, allowing the secondary to sit back. Rosen's got nowhere to go with the football. It's been a completely dominant half by the Texas A&M Aggies. As we take a look at the Geico first half stats, look at that, 286 rushing yards to 37 for UCLA. That's all you need to know out of this game so far.
The Aggies with the football to start the second half. And this is Kirk bringing it out of the end zone with a lane, and he'll dive forward and get to the 25. And let's go downstairs and check in with Jenny.
Gus, thanks. Well, as you can imagine, Coach Sumlin very pleased with the running backs. He said, I expect that from them, and his quarterbacks have managed the game well. But the big story on the other side of things, before the break, Josh Rosen, clearly frustrated, walked off with a little bit of a limp. He slammed his helmet before he was leaving. I asked Coach Moore about it. He said his ankle is fine. And Coach Moore said, this is a teaching moment for us. How can we climb out of this one? We've been playing too tentative. I'm worried about how they finish this game, this second half. It's new for us.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. So Texas A&M brings Nick Starkel back onto the field to lead them at quarterback. First down and 10 of the 25. Starkel throwing to the sideline and incomplete.
Good battle of true freshmen there. Jamon Osmond, he's 6'2", 220 pounds, working against Darnay Holmes, 5'10", 195 pounds. The true freshman from Pasadena, two of the most highly recruited players in the country. It's awful fun getting to see them tangle here early in their college careers.
Second down, 10 of the 25. Starkel in the shotgun now. Travion Williams in the backfield. Williams running it. And he'll gain a yard on the play. Matt Dickerson defensively for UCLA.
You know, the adjustment that needs to be made for UCLA is twofold. One, the safeties are going to have to get more involved in the run game, and so you're going to see the opportunity for one-on-one coverage on the outside. And then secondly, those front interior guys like Matt Dickerson, Boss Tagaloa, they've got to start winning, in particular in the one-on-one situations against the guard.
Third down 9 at the 26. Starkel to throw it underneath, incomplete. Good defense. Kenny Young knocking it out of the hands of Aaron Hansford. And Texas A&M 3 and out to start the second half.
Yeah, and a great series for UCLA to build a little bit of confidence for that defense, because they did not have much confidence going in that second quarter, and they'll give a pretty good field position opportunity back to their offense here after this punt.
So Tripucka will punt it away from the 12. Darius Pickett, the deep man for UCLA, at the 27. Pickett from the 30, and he's wrapped up and taken down immediately by the 12th man, and that's Gillespie. Hollywood is the place to be right now, and Texas A&M feeling really good about being out here in the sun. 38-10, Texas A&M leading UCLA. Josh Rosen, the numbers: 9 of 23, 114 yards. He was sacked twice and knocked down 7 other times in the first half. He'll start from his own 30. The pitch. Ola, run for me. A yard. Alaka again with the tackle. So if you're the Bruins, what do you do, Joe?
Well, they're coming out and trying to establish the outside run game, outside of the tackles. That's the only run game that was very effective for them. And then watch throwing the ball to the tight ends.
Rosen rolling out, goes on the move, and his receiver will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Austin Roberts wrestled down by Armani Watts.
The only two things that they really had any success with outside of the long throw to Jordan Lasley was running the ball outside and some occasional space that they were able to find with guys like Caleb Wilson, number 81, or there with Austin Roberts. But these obvious passing situations are where Texas A&M is teeing off on Josh Rosen.
So Jamabo checks in at running back, 3rd and 10 at the 30 for Rosen. Steps up, throws, caught, first down. Caleb Wilson, the tight end.
Those are the guys that are getting space, are the tight ends. And Wilson, sure-handed, really smart player, good effort.
12-yard gain, first down at the 42. Late substitution coming in. Austin Roberts.
Yeah, one of those tight ends. You know, they're going to work with these 2 tight end sets now for pretty much the duration of the game.
Play fake. Rosen sets up deep. Oh, gets crushed. And Rosen is down. Charles Oliver. And Texas A&M has the football again. The 3rd turnover of the game.
Just nothing you can do as a quarterback because the blitz is coming from the outside. Late onto the field, Austin Roberts lined up on the right side and just gets absolutely run around. In pass protection, Rosen had no shot. Ball comes loose. A&M doing what they do. Getting to the quarterback. It's been much of the same all day long. Josh Rosen on his back on the Rose Bowl turf.
A&M takes over at the UCLA 37, 1st and 10. Ford outside, turns it up, lowers his shoulder and gets 7, maybe 8 on the play. Nate Metters with the tackle.
This is when you got to let that offensive line eat a little bit. Boy, this line has been so good. Ford a bit hobbled. He'll come out of the game.
Nick Starkel out of the gun. Kendall Bussey enters for the first time at running back for A&M. Play fakes. Underneath, caught. Kirk turns it up. Gets to the sideline, lowers his shoulder and goes down. And Darius Pickett with a tackle after a 14-yard gain.
What a move from Kirk after he caught the football. Understanding that it was man coverage, he had one player to beat, and he spun out of that tackle right away. Gets the first down and lets him know it.
4 catches, 46 yards for Christian Kirk.
I think one of the most underrated attributes that a wide receiver can have is awareness of where that defender is trying to come up and make the tackle from. Kirk clearly had it and spun the opposite direction to get clean and free for the first down.
At the 16. Bussey.
talking about that awareness. As a wide receiver, you have to understand that the defender's always going to try to up and tackle your outside or closest to the sideline. Kirk immediately spins the opposite direction and gets the first down. That's because defensive coaches always teach those defensive backs, keep your outside arm free and try to make the tackle towards the inside where the pursuit of your defense is coming.
2nd and 5. Play fake. That one deflected and incomplete. UCLA getting pressure. Phillips. And this ball picked up. And incomplete pass is the call. Jalen Phillips knocking it down.
I have no idea why they were running that. That was such a clear pass and incompletion. Finally getting a little bit of pressure. They're coming with the pressure, and Jalen Phillips, a really good-looking true freshman, long, athletic. He's 6'5", 255 pounds, NFL size and speed, getting stronger as a youngster, but he's able to come in and bat that ball down. They are very high on Jalen Phillips. They think he can be one of the next great front 7 players for UCLA. Of course, they've had a few. Anthony Barr, Miles Jack, and they think that he's maybe next in line.
From Redlands, California. 3rd down and 6 at the UCLA 12 for the Aggies. Travion Williams back in the game. Starkle with protection now decides to run it, and it'll be dragged down from behind. UCLA doing a great job. This time it's Tuioti coming up with the stop.
Love the effort from Tuioti Mariner, senior from Corona. Had to spin out, and Starkle slow to get up. You know, Tuioti, he came and kind of rolled up on the back of his feet as they slid towards the sideline. Let's hope Starkle is going to be okay.
The camera in to attempt a 32-yard field goal. And good. 9:57 to play, 3rd quarter. A&M 41, UCLA 10. 41-10. Texas A&M. And here is the Jeep stat comparison. Starkle limping off the field on the last play.
Both quarterbacks that we've seen today have had a little bit of success. Mon, more the runner, so he's had the success rushing the football. Starkle has been effective, but he hasn't really needed to be effective because of the effectiveness of their run game. As they take him on the sideline, I was just going to say, these two guys, I mean, this program, you can clearly see with all the true freshmen playing, these young quarterbacks, they've got real potential here. Maybe this year the way they're playing, and certainly in the years to come.
Holmes from his 5-yard line, looking to get outside, and he's out of bounds at the 15. Time now for a game break. Let's go to Sergeant Mike Hill in the studio.
All right, Gus.
Mike Hill used to, the way he got into sportscasting, he used to do a news report for the Joint Chiefs of Staff when he was in the Air Force.
Doesn't get higher than that.
Oh, my goodness.
That report better be on point.
Peter Jennings, Ted Koppel, they didn't have anything on him. 1st and 10 at the 17. Jamabo.
There's just nowhere to run inside the tackles. You know, the only success they've had is on the outside. This offensive line has been dominated by the front 7 of Texas A&M. A year ago, the story for UCLA was their absolute inability to run the ball. They were 127th in the country running the ball, averaging 84 yards per game. They're even worse than that today.
2nd and 9 at the 18. And it's Jamabo again. Pushed out of bounds by Dotson. You get the feeling when you watch this Texas A&M team, and you know this because you went through it when you were a quarterback at Colorado. The players understand what their coach is going through, and you can tell that they're out there really balling for him today.
You used a term earlier in the game that I think is absolutely perfect. They're playing with a sense of urgency in every facet of the game. And you could say, hey, maybe that's for Kevin Sumlin, maybe that's for themselves. Whatever it is, they're playing with that sense of urgency today.
3rd down to 3. Rosen sprinting out of the pocket. And and knocked down, incomplete. Another well-defended play. Lasley, the intended receiver. And I tell you what, we've been mentioning Armani Watts' name all day. He's a senior.
Beginning of the game, I said that this guy is their best defensive player. He has not disappointed. They have been so good in the secondary. You're going to see him flying in, laying out right in front of Lasley, knocking it down.
Christian Kirk, the deep man. He will have the ball at the 27-yard line on the fair catch. 8:32 to play, third quarter. We'll take a quick break. A&M with the lead and the football right after this.
Coke Zero is now
put ahead for Texas A&M, sponsored by Coors Light for the climb ahead and the celebrations to follow. Climb on.
Yeah, you know, a couple of games that they should easily handle. Nicholls State, Louisiana Lafayette. That Arkansas game is going to be in Dallas at AT&T Stadium. South Carolina, October 7th. That's a huge one. They'll be hosting Alabama. They've got all those games before they go on the road again in a true road environment. Obviously a neutral site for Arkansas. Their next road game, October 14th. Going to Florida.
But there's a bigger question for Coach Sumlin and these Aggies that has to be answered this season as they run it on first down with Williams. The Aggies have started the last 3 seasons 5-0, 5-0, and 6-0, but finished each season 8-5 overall and unranked. Now, their athletic director had some very strong things to say at SEC Media Day. Scott Woodward said Coach Sumlin knows he has to win. He has to win this year. Why have they struggled in the second half of seasons?
You know, there's any number of theories, whether it was their strength and conditioning, their mentality, key injuries. I certainly think that injuries were a huge factor a year ago.
Mond over the middle, incomplete, intended for Rogers.
But they've addressed some of those issues. In particular, they hired what I felt like was one of the best strength and conditioning coaches that there was available. Mark Hockey was his name. He's worked at Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, but he came in and their entire emphasis was the fact that their line on each side was going to be tougher than their opponent. They felt like that was going to give them their best chance late in the season. Last year, they were a great running team, and then down the stretch, they faltered a little bit off of that. You can say it was Trevor Knight's injury, or maybe that offensive line wasn't playing up to their standards late in the season. Either way, they've certainly tried at least to address the things that they can control.
3rd down and 8 at the 31. Mond running it, looking for the first down, and he has it. I tell you what, this kid right here, Starkel went out of the game with an injury. He gains 10 yards, but this kid right here has a specialness about it.
You know, scouts would say it's a suddenness. When he moves, there's a suddenness to the way he moves. It's decisive. His first step is almost electric in its ability to get him started in the right direction and find the hole.
And he'll dump it down to Rogers. And that's an incomplete pass.
So many young players have played for this A&M team. You know, that's another component to maybe some of those poor finishes is just mentality, leadership. Well, they got a lot of new faces for Texas A&M. We've seen a lot of them today. Couple in big spots for Kevin Sumlin. Jamon Osmond, their wide receiver, Kellen Mond in there at the quarterback position. They've had Jared Hawker, an offensive lineman, a true freshman, play at some points in this ball game. So that mentality is also changing for Sumlin and the Aggies.
2nd and 10 of the 41. Bussey in the game at running back. And they give it to him. Big opening. Bussey dives forward, and he's close to a first. As Adarius Pickett makes the tackle. Don't forget, back in 2013, Coach Sumlin was awarded a 6-year, $30 million contract.
Yeah, and they also, it wasn't just their investment into the coaching staff, which they clearly made. But remember, they totally rebuilt and revamped Kyle Field and made it one of the premier venues in all of college football. And so there's been a significant investment into this program, and they're wanting to see some of the returns on that investment.
1st down and 10 at the 49. And Bussey gains a few. Pickett again with the tackle.
There is
and it's really clear at Texas A&M.
Yeah,
they expect division championships, conference championships, and to compete for the national championship.
Yeah, and certainly after that year with Johnny Manziel, they beat Alabama on the road. They have that electric Cotton Bowl and just a drubbing over Oklahoma. And I think I know the guy who was calling that game.
I tell you what, Johnny Manziel was just a pleasure. A wonderful college player to watch. 2nd and 6 at the 45. Mond in trouble, and Mond will be sacked. Rick Wade getting into the backfield.
Couple of young guys. Jalen Phillips was also in the backfield. Here's Phillips. Here's Wade. They're going to both get into the backfield, beat that right side of the offensive line. Excuse me, Wade was from the left defensive end spot as we were looking at it. Both getting in there, collapsing the pocket. Mond does a nice job of not turning the ball over. It was a little careless with the football, and you could tell it entered his mind, and immediately he got a second hand on that ball and brought it down.
So that makes it 3rd down and 15 at the 46. Mond handing it off. Ford around the corner. Quick feet. Still on his feet. And a 1st down.
That is 2 different times today that Texas A&M has had 3rd down and longer than 10 to convert. They've handed the football off and converted. What a great job by Ford, finding the open areas and then staying in bounds over there on the left side of the field, finding the chains for a conversion.
A 20-yard gain brings up 1st down.
Boy, this Ford-Williams combination, they are something, aren't they?
Yes, they are. This kid's playing well, too. Mond in for Starkle. Mond to throw it. And his receiver not holding on to the ball. It's Jones.
I would say there's only one area of the team that we haven't really seen how good they are or they aren't at this point for Texas A&M, because they just haven't had to throw the ball. There hasn't been any pressure on their passing game at any point during the course of the day. So maybe that question goes a little bit unanswered today for Texas A&M, but surely in every other facet they've answered with a resounding solidness that is pretty impressive.
Williams. And Williams gets across the 30-yard line. Looking at Kellen Mond, and I know this may be a bit much because he's still a young kid, but for some reason he reminds me of the kid at Texas Tech last year that went to Kansas City in the 1st round, Mahomes, in terms of his elusiveness. I know we haven't really seen him throw the ball like we saw Pat last year.
And Patrick had such a talented arm. You know, it's difficult to know because, again, we just haven't seen the pressure on the passing game, him having to throw the ball down the field. But I see what you mean in the way that he moves,
right,
finds space,
can slide.
Yeah.
It's 3rd down and 6. Mond. And incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down. Did you expect Mahomes to get drafted as high as he did? I think he was the 10th overall pick.
You know, not until we started getting closer to the draft. And what happened with Patrick Mahomes was that every coach in the NFL that ever coached Brett Favre saw Favre in Patrick Mahomes. And so it's not a surprise that Andy Reid went way up there to grab him. But that was kind of the comparison amongst those coaches.
So LaCamera in to attempt a 48-yarder. And he just stepped up and drilled it. All sides of the ball playing well for Texas A&M. Offense, defense, special teams. 44-10 is our score. Back to Pasadena right after this. Texas A&M leading UCLA, the season opener for both of these teams. They played in College Station last year. Close game with A&M winning in overtime. Different story today. Bruins have been outplayed in every facet of the game. Man will send it away. Darnay Holmes is the deep man. And he will not return this. The Aggies have won 20 straight non-conference games in the regular season, the 2nd longest streak in the nation to Alabama. Saturday, it's a big-time college football doubleheader on Fox. First, Nebraska looks to flex their Big Ten muscle when they take on Oregon at 4 Eastern. Then, Number 14, Stanford battles Heisman Trophy hopeful Sam Darnold and the number 4 USC Trojans at 8:30. It's College Football Saturday starting at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox. What's David Shaw got in Palo Alto this year?
You know, he's got a throwback Stanford team. Great on the offensive line, deep on the offensive line, a defense that could be the best in the Pac-12. They're going to be very difficult to handle.
And this ball caught by Wilson. He turns it up and gets to midfield before being taken down by Watts.
I love watching Caleb Wilson have success in college football. I played for his father, who was at Colorado as the defensive line coach, so I knew Caleb when he was just a little boy, running around on the field, catching the ball. He's always had those great hands. I love watching him play on this stage.
Rosen over the middle. And one thing that I have to really tip my hat to Josh Rosen, he is a tough hombre. He has really been whacked around this afternoon.
You know, and I gotta say, there are those out there that criticize Josh and say he doesn't love football. You don't go out there and battle like he does in these scenarios like A&M last year and this year, Arizona State a year ago when he got hurt, unless you love the game. This man loves to play football.
Second down and 10. And it's Jamabo spinning. Rosen made some off-season headlines on the internet with some of his comments about football and school, and also about the University of Alabama.
Yeah, I think Alabama was more a placeholder, you know, for his comment. It wasn't necessarily a shot at the Tide, but you know what Josh Rosen said was essentially football and school don't mix. And Josh is not totally wrong there. Now, I don't agree with everything he said, but there were a lot of things that he said in that interview that were right on the money.
Third down and 7 at the 48. Rosen on the money this time, and a first down. And it's Andrews. Rosen saying that the universities don't do enough to support the student athletes.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of his youth, because you have to understand that the universities are also providing an unmatched opportunity for you to not only play football but to get an education.
Rosen looking long. Incomplete. Lasley, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and certainly there are players that fall through the gaps, and that's the unfortunate side of football. And I wish that universities could identify those kids sooner, and programs identify those kids sooner, so that they can help them through their issues in college. But I will say the inconvenient truth is that conflicts do arise between intercollegiate athletics and academics. And if you're a scholarship athlete, male or female, generally you have to lean towards your scholarship sport. And people didn't want to hear that, but he was right.
Second down and 10 over the middle, and this one caught as they go up high. Theo Howard with the reception, and he gains 16.
Unfortunately for Josh, is the general perception and then reaction to those comments were really misleading. They were lazy, misguided, and he took the backlash. But rest assured, his teammates loved him.
Josh over the middle, caught, and this is Wilson again, close to the 5-yard line.
I mean, this is a big-time throw right here from Rosen. This is the type of throw that scouts are going to drool off of, because he moves the defense with that pump fake, and then bang, right on the frame of the tight end. That's a big-time throw.
First down and goal at the 7. They run it with Jamabo. Touchdown, Bruins. One thing you can say about Josh Rosen, not only is he a talented athlete, his teammates love him.
They played like it on that series. Great series. The O-line stepped up, started protecting Rosen, giving him some space, and the wide receivers began to create space in the back end, in particular Caleb Wilson, the sophomore from Dallas.
Molson in for the extra point, and it's good. UCLA refusing to quit. 2:06 to go in the third, 44-17.
It's an excellent series there for UCLA. Their talent finally starting to show a little bit on the outside. Clearly, maybe Texas A&M
calling off the dogs a bit.
Not quite as energized on defense as what we saw. I don't know if they were calling off the dogs as much as it's just hard to play with that sharp of focus and effort like they were for the majority of the 3 quarters that we've witnessed so far here at the Rose Bowl. And if you're a little bit off in this sport, you're going to get beat. And that's what all of a sudden happened on that last series. But it really started with the protection. When this kid has time, watch out, because he can do some special things down the field.
8-play drive covering 75 yards. Jim Mora. Talked to him yesterday at their team hotel. Asked him if he was feeling any kind of pressure. He said, not a bit. I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't pay attention to what you media guys have to say. You don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you love it when they say that? You media guys.
That's right.
Why do they always say it with that vitriol in their voice? What's up with that?
You got to be mad at somebody. Get ready to start your day with First Things First. Weekday mornings on FS1. Join host, the Hall of Famer Chris Carter, along with Slick Nick Wright, as they kick off the day with the hottest stories in sports. First Things First premieres Tuesday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on FS1. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft with you from the Rose Bowl. Opened in 1922. Home of the big bowl game, the Rose Bowl, in 1923. And UCLA's home since 1982. Mond remains in at quarterback. Here's the handoff. Williams. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Well, you mentioned that quarterback Nick Starkel left with an injury. It appears that he has now left the building. He was on a cart. He needed assistance to walk, and he was limping. He had been evaluated for his legs on the field, guys, and that is the latest with Starkel.
Okay, thank you very much, Jen. So Coach Sumlin told us that he could possibly play 3 quarterbacks in this game. He's played 2, so Jake Hubenek still has an opportunity to play. There's Jake, junior from Georgetown, Texas. 2nd and 9 at the 26. And they hand it off to Williams. Travion. All right, let's go to the studio for a game break with Sergeant Hill.
All right, Captain, got a good one going at FedEx Field. Virginia Tech, West Virginia going back and forth, tied to 17 here when Josh Jackson finds Cam Phillips, who's having a huge night. 32-yard strike right there. Phillips over 120-yard receiving so far. His team leading 24-17 in the third. Back to you, Captain.
Mike Hill, all right.
Boy, that's a good game there. Virginia Tech, in terms of their matchup, trying to find a quarterback. Justin Fuente, one of the best young coaches in America.
Williams, 20 carries, 201 yards rushing today for A&M. That ball broken up as Wadu steps in the lane and knocks it down.
Yeah, he's played hard tonight, and he's had a tough responsibility generally following Christian Kirk around. And Jaleel Wadu, senior from right here in L.A., Thorpe Award watch list, starting as safety for 3 years, and he's playing like it. He's had a good game tonight while his teammates have potentially struggled around him.
Shane Tribuca comes in to punt for the 4th time. Damian Alloway, the deep man for UCLA. And that ball will take a bounce and die at the 15.
Well, they got a nice rhythm offensively going last series for UCLA. Let's see if that can continue. Remember, it started up front protecting Rosen and then throwing the ball to the tight ends, and in particular Caleb Wilson. Very interested to see if Texas A&M tries to adjust and potentially put number 23 Armani Watts over the top of number 81 Caleb Wilson. That'd probably be a better matchup for Texas A&M than allowing a linebacker to try to run with the athletic tight end here for UCLA.
Wilson, 6 catches, 87 yards. First down at the 15. Rosen underneath, and it's called by Wilson. He gained 6.5, maybe 7. Watts with the tackle.
That's exactly what happened. Watts there shadowing on that side of the field, but like he has this entire half, Caleb Wilson's been the only Bruin that can create space and allow Rosen an opportunity to get a completion down the field. So we got an A&M player down here reaching after his leg. That's Deshaun Caper-Smith, 6-foot junior. He was the Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year, Mr. Football, in high school as a quarterback.
And how does that happen, Joel? You play one position in high school,
Just
and then
switch.
you get to campus, and then all of a sudden they say, oh, yeah, you played quarterback in high school. Nice. Now you're going to go to defense.
Well,
how is that decision made by coaches?
It's a great question. First of all, you have to understand that at a lot of high schools, on a lot of high school teams, you just put your best player at quarterback. That doesn't mean he's a natural quarterback. It just means that you want the ball in his hands because he is a dude. And so naturally he's going to maybe be a wide receiver or a running back, or we've seen quarterbacks go back and play safety, sometimes nickel back, and that's where Caper-Smith finds himself as the starting nickel for Texas A&M.
2nd down and 2 at the 23. And they'll hand it off, looking for the first down. Jamabo will not get it. They ambush him from behind as Wilson makes the tackle, and that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Heading to the 4th, Texas A&M with a huge lead. A&M fans sawing the horn here in Pasadena.
I mean, what a weekend for the Aggie fans. They got to see what happened down in Austin a day ago, and then they came here. And they have been impressive here with a quarter to go.
That's right. Maryland beating Texas in Austin. 3rd and 2 at the 23. Rosen underneath, and it's a first down, UCLA. Caleb Wilson continues to find openings.
He's already close to that 10-catch mark, close to 100 yards, working on Armani Watts. That's a great matchup there in the middle of the field.
First down to the 28. Play fake. Rosen over the middle. Caught. Caleb Wilson again. And Caleb goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line after a 20-yard gain. Larry Pryor knocks him out of bounds. How about Caleb Wilson? 9 catches, 120 yards today.
His dad, Chris, 2-time All-American at Oklahoma, defensive line coach in the NFL right now for the Eagles, and making dad proud.
Rosen, pump fake. Underneath, Wilson again. Caleb Wilson having his way with the Aggie defense now.
Here's what I love about a guy that understands football is he understands leverage. Watch him. He's going to give an outside move and then get to the inside of Armani Watts. See that little juke move? And that's how you create space in the back end. Love what Caleb Wilson is doing right now.
Back-to-back big gains of 20 and 25 yards. First down. Bruins at the Texas A&M 28. Rosen steps up in the pocket, delivers underneath, has another wide open receiver, Lastly, and he'll spin down inside the 10. A gain of 19.
Good protection for Rosen there, able to step up in the pocket, allow that crossing route to get all the way across the field to the opposite hash. Then he finds Lastly for another first down.
Makes it first down and goal at the 9-yard line. Jamabo in the game at running back. Rosen will throw it. Hit as he throws, incomplete. That time intended for Theo Howard.
That is an amazing move again by Johnson. Watch, Johnson's going to go upfield and then get back inside with a spin move and just hammer Josh Rosen. Jared Johnson, the senior from Katy, Texas, has just done a number on Colton Miller, the left tackle, today.
Second down, goal at the 9. High formation. Jamabo, the deep man. The hitch, near side. Andrews, touchdown. UCLA.
Going to get the motion out of the backfield. And he gets a beneficial matchup right there. And making people miss in space. He makes Howard miss and dances into the end zone. That's too easy there on the outside. Nice drive again for UCLA and Josh Rosen.
J.J. Molson, extra point is good. So we've got a 20-point game. 13:22 to play in the fourth quarter. Stranger things have happened. 44-24. UCLA scoring quickly. 75 yards they go in 2 minutes and 2 seconds, then 85 yards in 2 minutes and 4 seconds to cut a 34-point deficit to 20.
Well, now you're looking at just a 3-possession game, and that's a lot of time left for just 3 possessions.
Remember, Texas A&M now going with a true freshman quarterback. Can UCLA make him make mistakes? Kirk brings it out of the end zone. And knocked out a play as he crosses the 25.
Well, if you're the defense now, the strategy has to be that we're going to put every asset we can up to stop the run. Force Kellen Mond to be the difference in the game. Force him to throw the ball, make decisions, attack you in the secondary. Look for man coverage, aggressive technique, and all the safeties up near the line of scrimmage to stop this dominant run game that has churned out a couple of 100-yard rushers, including Travion Williams, that's gone over the 200-yard mark.
Mond is 1 of 8 passing.
There it is. Man coverage on the outside.
Here's a handoff. Not a lot of room for Bussey. He'll pick up a 1.5 yards.
Earlier in the game, UCLA was playing with 2 safeties back, but now they drop one of those safeties into the linebacker spot. Now 3 linebackers there, and A&M can't block every one of those players. Again, running the football always just comes down to math. Do you have enough dudes to block their dudes? And on that play, they didn't.
2nd down and 9. Travion Williams back in. He goes in motion. Mond to throw it. Mond winds up down the field, incomplete. 1 for 9. 3rd down and long coming up.
And you sense the energy picking up a little bit for UCLA here. They've come out and been very aggressive on this series. It's going to be man coverage. Corners right in the face of the wide receivers. Safeties in the box trying to stop the run.
Can the Bruins get off the field here? Their offense has been playing much better. 3rd and 9 at the 28. Mond out of the shotgun. Mond will throw it under pressure. Uses his legs and picks up a 1st down. A 15-yard gain on 3rd and 9.
Well, UCLA had the correct defense called. They're actually going to spy Kellen Mond because he's so good with his legs. But look at this. He makes the move, and the tackle is not made in space, and he moves the chains.
8 carries, 49 yards for the freshman. And he hands it off to Williams.
You know, I always wonder to myself, it's a 3-possession game. I understand that the offense is designed to go fast and use tempo, but it's not beneficial for the result. You know, you're trying to burn the clock out, and they're doing a better job here of making sure they're not snapping the football quickly.
2nd and 7. And they'll hand it off Ford this time, and he turns it up and picks up a 1st down, or he'll be close to it. Do you practice? Obviously, you practice going fast, Joel, but do you practice going slow when you have to as well?
I think you absolutely have to do that. You've got to be, or have the ability to change tempo. That's a paramount in today's football. And Kevin Sumlin knows that, but it's really difficult because the guy that operates that is the quarterback. And when you got a true freshman out there and Kellen Mond, I mean, there's so much going through his mind right now. I doubt he's even looked at the play clock yet, which is just up on the side of the goalpost there on that last shot.
11:34 and counting. First down. Mon to throw it. Near side. Ball is caught by Osborne. And he'll gain 5.
Good series, though. The conversion on third down. Mon keeps the series going. And now the offensive line starts to wear on him a little bit, and a completion on the outside. They're finding their rhythm here at Texas A&M with a true freshman. He's done a real nice job in this series.
Mon getting valuable experience week 1. Play fake. Pulls it down. Scrambles. Has to get rid of it. Will not. And he'll take a sack. Phillips again making a play, and that's a 10-yard loss.
Well, he's going to try to get that ball out to the right side. UCLA did a nice job of staying put. He's got a player deep that's open. The problem was he had to be running so hard to his right, he couldn't get anything on the ball to get it down deep. I think Mon needed to throw that ball away. That's your true freshman mistake. He's outside of the pocket, throw it away, and it's a more manageable third down. So that's the growing pains that you're going through with a young quarterback in here for the Aggies.
So it's 3rd and 15. Golden opportunity for UCLA to get the ball back. They hand it off. Ford around the corner. He's chopped down. And the Aggies will be forced to punt. Jaleel Wadu.
Well, the defense gets helped out there by the decision not to throw it away, but then they get themselves off the field. And now you're looking at getting the ball back if you're UCLA, somewhere around that 9 minutes and 20 seconds, 9 minutes and a half. That's a lot of time. I know it's 3 possessions. That's 3 scores. But the defense doing their job, getting the ball back for their quarterback.
Back deep, Damian Alloway. Tripucka won't punt it away from the 35. Gets it away. Low kick. Alloway. And it takes a bounce and just dies inside the 5. He put some English on that kick. Well done by Shane Tripucka. Josh Rosen and the UCLA offense will start inside their own 5. 24. Texas A&M leading UCLA here in the 4th quarter, but the Bruins have the football, and they'll start from the 4.
Time is a factor here because of the 3-possession game, the 3-score game. As a quarterback, you got to create a 0 moment, and at this point for Rosen, I think he's thinking about the 7-minute mark, where they need to be scoring a touchdown at about the 7-minute mark to make this a legitimate comeback opportunity.
1st and 10 to the 4-yard line. Caleb Wilson has been spectacular. Rosen throws on the run and incomplete. Texas A&M with some pressure up the middle. Kingsley Kiki. Pressure.
In the last 2 series, we've seen Texas A&M sit back in zone coverage, and that's why the middle of the field has been open for a guy like Caleb Wilson. On that snap, they actually played a bit of man and tried to take that away from Wilson and Josh Rosen. That's why Rosen didn't have anywhere to go with the ball, because the coverage and man coverage for Texas A&M has been excellent all night long.
2nd and 10. Rosen. Over the middle, caught! And look at him go! Andrews tripped up at the last moment. He could have broke that one for a touchdown, a 28-yard gain.
Well, at the top of your screen, you're going to see a great route get executed. I told you they were in man coverage, so he sells going to the outside and then cuts back to the inside, creating some space for the quarterback, and Rosen hits him in stride.
1st down at the 32. Rosen, pump fake, underneath again, and Caleb Wilson gains about 9.5.
They're not going blazing fast right now, but you can tell there's a sense of urgency about their tempo. Back at the line of scrimmage, Rosen communicating the routes to his wide receivers and instructing his running back where to go.
2nd and 1. Looking for the 1st down. Jamabo, and he has it plus some. Diving forward. Let's see where they spot it. Looks like a 17-yard gain as Pryor made the saving tackle again. Rosen, quick start. Looking. Over the middle. Oh, And we have 8 minutes and 12 seconds to play.
96 yards right down the field. Rosen makes a huge mistake. That is right in the hands of Deshaun Capers-Smith. And it goes right there. Andrews was surprised that the ball even hit him into the chest. Huge mistake. A&M can't convert.
Extra point good. Bruins go 96 yards in 1 minute and 6 seconds. 8:12 to play. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's going down at the Rose Bowl. The offensive line figuring out a way to protect Josh Rosen. And so far, our progressive performance of the game goes to.
Well, it's got to be the rushing game, at least so far, of A&M, because they still do have the 2-possession lead, right? So the progressive performance of the game is these 2 running backs, Travion Williams and Ford from A&M. 200 yards for Williams, 113 so far for Ford. They have just been eating up the defense. But now we're going to see exactly how good this running game is.
And the Bruins send it away, and it will go into the end zone for a touchback. At one point, the score of this game was 44-10. With 4:08 to go in the third quarter, UCLA has scored 3 touchdowns. One drive, 202. Another drive, 204. Their last drive, 106. As we look at the progressive performance, Keith Ford and Travion Williams with a combined A&M 361 yards rushing. But here's the question. Can a true freshman quarterback eat this clock up? 8:12 to go. He's got to put together some drives.
It's either got to be on the quarterback to put together the drives, or it's got to be on those 5 guys up front. Can you run the ball when they know you have to run the ball? That's championship medal. If you can do that, then you're a team to be reckoned with.
First down at the 25 for Kellen Mond. Will throw it. Mond up top. Incomplete. Ratley was open. Mond just couldn't put it on him.
There was some extracurricular activity down here on the near side. A flag hit the ground. Darius Pickett was.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, number 6 defense, 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
I mean, those penalties are just killers. Pickett, the safety, was working on Jamon Osmond, the true freshman, and there was some physical activity at the snap, and Pickett ends up kind of throwing Osmond to the ground, but then he stood over him, points at him. There's no room for that. I mean, you're giving him a free first down now, and you change the field position, because a punt from this point will most likely back you up inside the 20-yard line, even if you can get off the field as a defense.
First down at the 40-yard line. Mond. And he throws a missile to Kirk. Christian Kirk with a gain of 15.
Now there you go. You talk about, that's their first big-time throw of his college career. In the pocket, needs to complete it, and he throws a corner route on the money.
Here's Mond running it. No, he flips it out to Kirk. Kirk. And he'll be knocked out of bounds around the 40-yard line by Darnay Holmes.
And a good decision there from Mond. They run the zone read, but he's got the option to still throw it. So it's kind of like the modern version of the triple option. Mond makes a great decision, gets the ball out to Kirk, and creates a second and manageable situation as the redshirt freshman Nick Starkel, who started the game, watches on.
2nd and 4, offside on UCLA. So now the Bruins showing a lack of discipline with the personal foul penalty for taunting by Darius Pickett, and now an offside.
Prior to the snap, offside, contact in the neutral zone, 94 defense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Nick Terry.
And 2 of the most infuriating penalties from a coach's standpoint. One, just a total mental judgment lapse, the unsportsmanlike conduct from Pickett, and then the nose guard of all people staring at the football right below him, jumps off sides and makes contact. That's got to make Jim Mora just infuriated right now.
So a first down for A&M. At the UCLA 34. Travion Williams back in at tailback. Mond to throw it. Mond standing strong in the pocket. Incomplete. Kirk had a step.
UCLA trying to double team Christian Kirk. You have to do it because he's so dangerous. And boy, that was just outside of the reach. It was a pretty good throw. I mean, within inches of being a completion down inside the 10-yard line. I mean, Mond's a great athlete and he can run it. I know he's a dual threat guy, but this guy can throw it now. He's got a great motion. He's got some velocity down the field. I love the way he sets up in the pocket. He's confident. Kevin Sumlin has got himself something here in this true freshman quarterback.
2nd and 10. Play fake. Mond breaks contain. Turns the corner. Down the sideline. Tiptoe through the tulips. Mond. Did he stay in? No, he didn't. Out of bounds at the 21 or make it the 22.
Oh, he almost kept himself in bounds. More importantly, gets the first down, moves the chains, and that was awful close over there on the sideline. This guy is electric on the outside. And that left foot just came down out of bounds. Right there. Boy, the electricity when he hits the edge, he has got some serious giddy-up.
10 carries, 50 yards. First down. Mond running it again. Spinning. And this is such a career-building drive for Kellen Mond, the young freshman from San Antonio, Texas.
These reps are invaluable right now. You have no idea how severe the injury is to Nick Starkel. And now Mond in this big scenario as UCLA is mounting a comeback, comes on the field and has orchestrated a brilliant drive for the Aggies.
2nd down and 3 at the 15. And they'll run it. Williams. And he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard. Rick Wade with the tackle.
You know, with his ability to run here on 3rd down, the clock moving, I would be shocked if there's not going to put the ball in his hands in some zone read capacity. Not with a pass option on it, because you don't want to stop the clock artificially for UCLA. You've got Trevon Williams in the backfield. Allow Mond to make the play with his feet.
3rd down and 4 at the 16. Mond in trouble. And taken down. What a play. Keyshawn Lucier South.
Well, you certainly don't want to take a sack in this situation. Lucier South just totally unblocked. Missed assignment up front. Travion Williams, I think he made a mistake. He's supposed to block the edge, the running back. He leaves him free. And Mond did a nice job of at least not turning the ball over. You'd hate to take a sack when you're in field goal range. But at this point, at least they forced UCLA to take a timeout. If he throws that ball away or he throws an incompletion, UCLA saves the timeout. So actually a pretty smart play from Kellen Mond.
And there's Jerry Neuheisel, who played quarterback here at UCLA, a graduate assistant with Texas A&M. His father, Rick, was the head coach for the Bruins. Currently a analyst for CBS. Remember, he led UCLA to that big win. And this one, short. Neuheisel led UCLA to the big win at Texas. Now Josh Rosen trying to lead UCLA back against Texas A&M. The camera short. Bruins with life. 31 our score. UCLA down, but with the football right now.
And they actually blocked this. Adarius Pickett, number 6, who had that terrible penalty to start the drive, gets in and just gets a piece of that ball. He sticks out that left paw, and his left thumb is what started to get that ball. The knuckle causing the missed field goal.
First down at the 26 for the Bruins. Rosen underneath. Wilson again. Caleb Wilson.
This will be full 2-minute type tempo at the line of scrimmage as fast as they can.
Rosen again off his back foot and incomplete. Looking for Wilson. Right there, though, it's Dotson, the middle linebacker.
And that time, Texas A&M actually brought a blitz for the first time in the last couple of series, trying to disrupt the timing of Rosen. It clearly worked. He threw that ball well before he wanted to in the direction of Caleb Wilson.
Third down, 3 at the 33. Obviously, 4-down territory, if need be, for the Bruins. Rosen over the middle, nobody home. So now that brings up 4th down with 4:17 to go in the 4th.
Well, Wilson has been the guy all night long. 12 catches, 160 yards. The big tight end for UCLA.
First UCLA tight end with 10+ catches since Mercedes Lewis in 2005. 4th and 3. Rosen pumping, caught. Wilson again gets out of bounds at the Texas A&M 40-yard line, and a flag is on the play as well.
He may have got hit late. The Bruin bench just exploding with energy there as Wilson again.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 11 defense, late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Larry Pryor with the late hit out of bounds. Here's Wilson working against Watts, and he again is going to give him that outside move. Watts has fallen for that a couple of times. Wilson gets space, and he's able to get in there and just a little bit too late. That was right on the edge right there. Might have looked worse than it was, but Pryor's called for the penalty nonetheless, moving the ball further down the field.
Rosen off first down. In trouble. Buying time, turns a corner, and gets out of bounds at the 20.
That's a smart play from Josh Rosen. There was a guy open in the back of the end zone, but it would have been a really tough throw. He took the free yardage right in front of him and got out of bounds. Heck of a decision there from Rosen.
2nd down and 6 at the 22. Jamabo in the backfield with Rosen. Rosen under pressure, slings it underneath, and it's caught at the 10-yard line by Darren Andrews. He went sidearm, a la Matt Stafford.
He had to. There was a free rusher. Texas A&M brought a blitz. It was a free rusher in the face of Rosen, but he got him around for the completion.
First down at the 11. And the officials blow it dead prior to the snap. Wilson.
Full start. On the offense, all 11 players were never set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's a quarterback mistake there. I know he saw the look. He wanted to snap it quickly because Wilson was going to be wide open for the touchdown. But you got to let all 11 players get set. And that's the quarterback's responsibility to make sure that everybody is lined up.
So they back it up 5 yards. 1st and 15 at the 16-yard line. It'll give Rosen a little more room to throw it. Josh Rosen under pressure, throws, caught in the end zone, touchdown, Theo Howard. What a throw by Josh Rosen. And with 3:10 remaining, UCLA down 44-37.
That was one of the more incredible throws I've seen in a long time. Rosen had guys all over him in the backfield.
Molson for the extra point. Good. 3:10 to go. 44-38. Can UCLA get the ball back again?
Rosen has to elude the first rusher, and as he's trying to escape to his left, nonetheless, he just rears back and launches it into the end zone. Theo Howard, he comes back to the ball perfectly, and it's a touchdown for the Bruins. What an extraordinary effort from Rosen, even to get that ball anywhere close to the end zone. What an extraordinary comeback this has been. Texas A&M thoroughly dominated UCLA in every facet for 2.5 quarters. And now a brilliant quarterback who's been given time to throw in the pocket has brought his team all the way back.
And they are bouncing on the UCLA sideline now. At one point, the score was 44-10. In 16 minutes, the Bruins have made this a 44-38 game. They just go 74 yards in 1 minute and 31 seconds. Do you kick it deep?
To a true freshman, I would kick it deep. They still have 2 timeouts. The defense has played pretty well. Remember that last series, it was jump-started by a really poor penalty. Other than that, the defense has played pretty well. I would kick it deep.
And they do. Kirk and Bussey back. Here's Kirk. Brings it out of his own end zone. Kirk looking for a hole, crosses the 20 and gets up to the 24. Time now for the expectation-shattering drive of the game, sponsored by Buick, and these are drives.
Well, we've had, what, 4 straight unanswered touchdowns? They got a 34-point deficit. They've come all the way back, making this a 6-point game. The extraordinary effort from Josh Rosen, 28 unanswered points for the UCLA Bruins. You give that man some time in the pocket, and he will carve you up. This has been extraordinary in the second half.
Now the true freshman back on the field. He's got to milk the clock. Mond running it, looking. And Mond will gain about 4 yards on the play, as Octavius Spencer comes up and knocks him down. They give him 3.
And we're going to see exactly what Mond is made of here.
UCLA calls a timeout. They have 1 remaining. A&M with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Let's go to Mike Hill for an update.
And you guys got a good one there. Got a good one going between Virginia Tech and West Virginia as well. After a huge 46-yard run by Josh Jackson, got Tech inside the 5. Trayvon McMillan taking it home from 3 yards out. That put Tech up 31-24. That's where we stand late in the 4th. Gus.
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. We do have a good one. UCLA. We thought they were dead and buried, but somehow Coach Mora has figured out a way for his team to protect Josh Rosen, and he has been paying off.
Gus, there were 0 signs of life for UCLA at halftime. Really, even through the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half. But that man, number 3, I tell you what, man, this has been just quite a show from him.
Second down, and they call it 8 at the 25. Mond underneath, incomplete. Jaleel Wadu almost picked that football off.
And A&M is trying to go to their most trustworthy offensive weapon, Christian Kirk. But UCLA knows that that's going to be the plan. 2 Bruins on Christian Kirk, double teaming him on the inside and outside.
Biggest play of the game coming up right now. 3rd down and 8. UCLA's defense wants to get the ball back to Josh Rosen. Mond, can he make a play? Here's Mond, steps up and sacked. Tuioti Mariner. And A&M will have to punt it away with 2:45 to go. UCLA with 1 timeout left.
Here he's going to come from the left defensive end spot. Jacob Tuioti Mariner. Great effort and the sandwich sack as UCLA gets off the field in a quick manner and is going to give the ball back to Josh Rosen. That defense has had a 180-degree turnaround from what they were at the beginning of the game.
Darius Pickett is the deep man. Shane Tripucka will punt it away. UCLA out of timeouts now. They just used their last timeout. Tripucka punting from the 6. Pickett with the fair catch at the 34. And here we go. 2:39 to go. They say he could be the #1 quarterback selected if he elects to leave UCLA after this season. He's got no timeouts. (19 of 26). He's thrown for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
In the second half, 415 overall, 28 of 49. Rosen's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Rosen in the shotgun. Under pressure, underneath, and it's complete. Andrews gets out of bounds. A gain of 11.
Now, without a timeout, they've got to be cognizant of what they're doing with the football. So when the receivers get the ball, they've got to be looking for either a first down or to get themselves out of bounds. But with 2.5 left at the 45, they're not going to be panicked about the clock just yet.
No timeouts. Rosen looking left. Underneath and incomplete. Theo Howard, closest man to the football. That stops the clock at 2:19.
Texas A&M has tried a bit of everything in this second half. They've changed up their coverage. They've sat back. They've blitzed. They've done everything. But the difference has been that UCLA has been able to protect Rosen regardless of what A&M is doing defensively. And he's been carving him up as Capers Smith. Deshaun Capers Smith gets his left leg attended to here on the field. They've been running a lot of crossing routes, Gus, because Texas A&M has been playing man coverage underneath. Anytime you've got man-to-man defense, you want to get your wide receivers running across the field. You don't want them settling down in space that makes it too easy to cover them. That's why you're seeing a lot of these underneath throws. If you're going to see a wide receiver come across the field, Rosen's going to want to let him get outside of the hash marks before he hits him.
Second down and 10 at the 45. Rosen over the middle, caught again. This time it's Andrews.
They've got to go fast here. He did not get the first down. The clock will be moving the entire time. They've got to get a play called, get up to the line of scrimmage, and try to execute to move the chains here on a third down.
3rd and 1 at the 46. Low snap picked up by Rosen. Underneath, first down, Wilson. Josh Rosen with the hands of Derek Jeter on that play.
I mean, that ball was all the way down in his left foot. He goes down and gets it, then gets a good grip in order to throw a nice, accurate ball to Chris.
First down and 10 at the 40, Rosen. Wilson again. A 16-yard gain.
This kid's hands are unbelievable. Wilson snatches that ball out of the air.
First down, Rosen. In trouble. Incomplete. Texas A&M blitzing.
And he was so fortunate that that ball wasn't picked off. Alaka had it right there in his hands after it got batted down. Watch this. Dotson bats it down, and then Alaka, number 42, is going to have a shot at it as he's going to the ground. That could have ended the game right there.
But fortunately, Michael Alves deflected it. 2nd and 10 at the 24. Bruins trail 44-10 in the 3rd quarter. Rosen.
I think they got a delay here.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
These situations, those mechanics of operation, like looking at the play clock, can leave you because you're so focused on everything else going on in a drive of this magnitude.
Caleb Wilson has been Josh Rosen's go-to player. Number 81. 2nd and 15. Rosen over the middle. Caught. Andrews. They back him up behind the 15. But let's see if his forward progress will spot it closer to the 10.
You know, the hard part there, Gus, was that he reestablished himself after coming back, got knocked back, reestablished himself, so that's why it's not a 1st down.
3rd and 1, Rosen again, and a false start.
False start.
Mistakes.
Offense. All 11 players weren't simultaneously set at any moment prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
You know, these are big mistakes by Josh Rosen, the quarterback. He's got to let his players, it's not like there's 10 seconds left. There's 1 minute and 7 seconds left. He's got to calm himself down, make sure that his offensive players are aligned and set before he snaps the ball.
Remember, the Bruins have no timeouts. 3rd down and 6 at the 20. Down by 6. Rosen, sideline. Jordan Lasley unable to hold on as he takes his eyes off the football.
Remember, a year ago, it was a 3rd down drop in overtime that doomed UCLA in their attempt to win in College Station. There, a 3rd down drop, and the game comes down to a 4th down snap.
4th down and 6 at the 20. Bruins need to go to the 14 for a 1st down. Rosen. Looking, drops it off, caught, Jamabo, 1st down UCLA, and he gets out of bounds. With 48 seconds to go, the clock stopping.
What a great read from Rosen. No one from Texas A&M went with the swing out of the backfield, which was Jamabo, and he just dumps it off for a 1st down.
Rosen fakes the spike in the end zone, touchdown! Whoa! Jordan Lasley! The legend of Josh Rosen! In full bloom! Dan Marino would be proud!
Are you kidding me?
But the most important thing now, J.J. Molson in to attempt the extra point to give the Bruins the lead. And it's good! 45-44. What a comeback by UCLA.
I still don't quite believe what we've just witnessed. Josh Rosen threw a perfect ball in the corner of the end zone to Jordan Lasley after faking the spike. You talk about playing this game with ice water in your veins. Josh Rosen, the chosen one.
His nickname in high school was Chosen Rosen, 35 unanswered points since being down 44-10. Rosen 4 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. Kirk back deep. And lets it go out of the end zone. 45-44. Kellen Mond, the true freshman quarterback, comes back onto the field. He'll start from his own 25. 43 seconds to go. And remember, Daniel LaCamera is their field goal kicker. Former soccer player. He has kicked at least a 68-yard field goal in high school. 1st and 10 at the 25. Mond drops it off incomplete. Intended for Williams. Where do the Aggies have to go to get in field goal range?
They've got to get, realistically, I understand what he did in high school, and realistically, you have to get this ball at least to the 38, 39, or 40-yard line.
LaCamera earned national attention on Thanksgiving in 2014 when he kicked that 68-yard field goal. Mond in trouble. Throws incomplete. 33 seconds left.
Jalen Phillips, the true freshman, he's their best pass rusher. This is when the best pass rusher has to be great. Shaken up on the last play, he'll leave the game.
A&M has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 3rd down and 10 of the 25.
If you're UCLA, you have to know where Christian Kirk is on the field. Top of your screen in the slot.
Mond, play fake. Dancing, throws. Incomplete. And that brings up 4th down with 27 seconds to go. Fourth and 10 from the 25. Mond, the true freshman, wants to run it. Can he get there? Mond taken down, and it looks like he has the 1st down.
It's going to be awfully close. He had to get to the 35. It looks like that ball is going to be spotted right on that 35-yard line. Boy, that looked like the spot was favorable by what, about the length of the football based on that replay. Inyaruka is the one that was hustling after him, number 93. He's a junior college transfer, and it looks like that spot is about the length of the football off. Based on where he hits the ground with his elbow, that ball should be about a foot short.
On the previous plays that the runner was able to make it to the line of the game, resulting in a 1st down. This play is now under video review.
They will take a look, and Gus, I don't think he got there.
Let's go to Dean Blandino, our rules analyst. Dean, can you hear us?
Yeah, guys, I'm here. I'm looking at it, and you can see the backside is down. The elbow hits. He needed to get to the 35. That ball's about a ½ yard short of the line of game.
And if that is true, Texas A&M will turn it over on downs. There's 20 seconds to go.
There's the look. Pretty clear. Remember, they're going to need the indisputable video evidence. That right there is indisputable video evidence that UCLA is going to walk out of here with a victory after being down by 34 points in the 2nd half. Remarkable.
But will it be reversed? Right now, the ball is spotted right at the 35.
It's pretty clear I'm sure they're just making 100%. They're going to take their time because this ends the game.
Josh Rosen can't believe it. He put his teammates on his back. His coaches figured out how to protect him. One of the great comebacks for this young man. In the fourth quarter alone, 19 of 26, 292, 4 touchdowns. And the Aggies may have a tear in their beer. Here it comes.
After video review, the runner was only able to make advancement to the 34-yard line. Since the line of the game was at 35, the ball's turned over on downs. First down, UCLA.
UCLA 20 seconds away from one of the most miraculous comebacks that you can ever see. Josh Rosen, chosen, Rosen. Texas A&M with 2 timeouts.
Not enough to do anything. Josh Rosen just completed one of the most epic comebacks in our sports history. Remarkable.
Unbelievable. This young man from Manhattan Beach, California.
Hey, he was getting drilled all night until those, what, last 6 series? And he still stood in there and picked them apart. What a performance.
Rosen backs it up. They don't come after him. And now he takes a knee. 12 seconds to go. And that's it. UCLA comes all the way back behind the brilliance of Josh Rosen. They defeat Texas A&M 45-44. Instant classic.
Did that just happen?
I'm shaking my head right now, Coach. Kevin Sumlin is shaking his head too. The pressure will mount on him this week as the Aggies return to College Station.
I will say it was not a series of mistakes that led to this. I mean, UCLA went out there and earned it, stopped them on defense. Rosen down the field, 19 of 26 for 294 yards and 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone. Coaches will tell you most games are lost, not won. This one was won by number 3 for UCLA.
Rosen faking the snap inside the red zone. And as our Bill Rafter would say about Josh Rosen, onions. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Taft.
Josh, it is hard to describe what we just witnessed from you, bringing this team back 34 points. How did you do it?
I mean, at a certain point, you just got to play your offensive drives and not focus on anything else. Play the best football you can and hope that you come out on the better side in the end of it.
It has been almost 11 months since you last played for this team, and home at the Rose Bowl, you get the win in this fashion. What does it mean to you?
It feels great. It's been a long off season. It's been a long, long off season. A lot of thinking, a lot of reflection, and hopefully this is just the first step to a long and very successful season.
Coach Mora told me at the break he wanted a response. How proud are you of your teammates and how they responded in the second?
I'm so proud of them. I mean, we're breaking in a new offense. You're going to have some bumps. And in the first half, early in the first half, we just weren't getting off to the right foot. And I guess we just kind of needed a little spark in the second half, and that's what we got. And And at a certain point, it started to get bleak. But we're playing against ourselves, our own championship standard every single day. And we just wanted to go out and execute on offense and then hope that it ended up well.
All right, well, you go enjoy this tonight. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Gus?
Humility, Josh Rosen. But what an ending. UCLA climbs the mountain behind this man, their leader, chosen Josh Rosen. Coming up, we'll wrap it up from the Rose Bowl. Bruins on top of the Aggies. Wow.